All right. Hey, what is up, guys? Maybe ladies. Who knows? This is Nemo. We're gonna do a Friday night, Saturday morning stream for a little while. It is 12:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm here in the lair. I've got bourbon and Diet Coke ready to go. We're gonna get just mildly sloshed tonight. Right now, I've got Joe Buddy in the Hangouts, and I've also got a Sicily 810 in the wings. He's going to take a shower, and then he's going to come join us on this conversation. So,
No
Joe
homo.
Buddy, how are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right.
Isn't that right, baby? That's
That's right.
right.
That's right, Dana.
Okay, that's enough Eli talk for a while. But before we came on, you started talking about a book that you've gotten. Let's go into that and let's finish that conversation live on the air.
I'm so tired. I've kind of forgot the name of the book, though. Oh, what is the name of that book? Oh, well, forget the name of the book at the moment. It's a Jewish themed book written by a rabbi, and it's all about a man's. It's all about marriage from a man's point of view. You know, doesn't really have a lick to do with women, except insofar as it's marriage is a man and a woman, but it's not a book for women to read. And one of the most interesting things that he says is that a woman is a reflection of the man. So if the woman is being mean or arguing with you, or maybe being cold and unloving, whatever, that's a reflection of you. And
Even if you don't have anything to do with that.
well, the rabbi is going off of the premise that a woman can't really help herself. She's a reflection of her husband, and so if her husband is treating her well, then she, and if she's getting what a woman needs, she can't help but respond positively and be nice to be around. It's not like it's not like 2 + 2 = 4. It's not a strict formula. It's more of a, how is your marriage going? And I'm in the middle of packing. I'm moving, so I don't know where my books are. So I just can't go to the bookshelf and grab it, and my brain is freezing. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, so it's almost kind of like if your woman's acting happy, then obviously you're doing something right. And if she's kind of agitated and on edge, then obviously it's something the man's doing wrong.
Yeah, and
Not,
it's a very interesting premise, because normally you'd say, oh, it takes two to tango, or we're both. No, this rabbi's kind of got it as no, it's probably your fault as a dude if she's going crazy.
so is this rabbi a feminist? Because that seems like kind of that line of logic.
I don't think he's a feminist. I think what he's doing is he's just looking at women as like the weaker sex, and that they're created to be a helpmate to man, and so in that role, it's just how they're wired.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, it seems like in today's climate that they're not living up to that job. Not saying that all men are living up to their jobs, being the provider and the protector, but it seems like a dynamic disconnect between both sexes.
Oh, for sure, and um, everything's so broken here. I mean, if now again, we're talking. A rabbi wrote this book, so he's going to go straight to Genesis, where it says, there's Adam all by himself, and there's all the animals, and God said it's not good for Adam to be alone, so He created a helpmate for him. Okay, so right there, the rabbi's going to say, oh, okay, so the woman is there, because it's not good for Adam to be by himself, and her role is to help him. Now, what is this world saying, though? This world is like, is it telling the women to find fulfillment in that? Absolutely not.
I don't know, but I mean, was Adam ever really truly alone? I mean, he had all the animals, he had all of the creation, he had all of nature. You
Well,
know,
he was alone in the sense that there wasn't another human being.
oh, okay, but they could have created, Steve.
That's
You know,
that's right, but God didn't. So for
see, if he would have created Steve, then there would still just be Adam and Steve because the bitch wouldn't have eaten the apple. If just to play devil's advocate here, it's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Faggots getting married. What's up with that shit?
well, that's definitely true. That's definitely true. But it's a very interesting way. This guy has a very interesting way of looking at it, and when I find it, I'll have to share the link with you, because there's this very interesting YouTube series of videos from a Messianic Jew. So he's not even Jewish. It's like a Christian sect that follows some of the Jewish holidays, in like the Sabbath on the Saturday sort of deal. But he's reviewed the book in great detail, and he just loves it. So I started watching these videos and going, oh wow, this is pretty interesting, and then I bought the book. But it's a very interesting book in that it gives you, as a man, real practical, like practical advice, like what to do, how to behave, how to be a man, how to be a husband, which is sorely lacking.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting read. I would be when you remember the name of the book. I definitely would like to know it so I can read it
Oh,
and
geez,
see
I'm
what's
so
up.
dumb. I could just go to Amazon.
It just reminds me of this book that my ex-wife gave me before when we were like starting to have kind of difficulties. What was it?
Oh,
It was some Christian marriage counseling book. It was like men are waffles and women are spaghetti or something like that.
well, there's
And
men are from Venus and women are from Mars.
yeah, no, it was waffles and spaghetti, something fucked up
Oh,
like that.
well,
And
I haven't heard that book.
something about how we as men compartmentalize things into their own little boxes, and we don't really, we have our box for our emotions, and we have our box for our hobbies, and we have our box that we keep obscure sports statistics in. Or
I found my order, by the way.
oh, good. Go ahead and enlighten me. What's the title of the book? And also put it in the
Okay.
chat so everybody else can do their own Google foo on it.
Put it in the chat. How do I put it in the chat where everyone can see it? You mean in your channel or in the Hangout?
Oh, you don't have the live stream open. Sorry.
Right, but I'll open a live stream. But can I make a comment while it's in progress?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you can.
I learned something new here. All right. So I don't see how to reply. Oh, say something in the chat. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. The Garden of Peace, a marital guide for men only, by Rabbi Shalom Arush. Hopefully, I'm saying that last name right.
I'm not sure, but if you were to go on YouTube, you'll see this guy who's reviewed of the book. He'll just sit there and read some of the pages and he'll talk about it in great detail. And it's very fascinating because there's a hell of a lot of men out there who are, they're like consumed by the word, the word Bible, and it's interesting to see such a man, just eat this book up, talk about it. But the problem with the typical, let's just talk about women because we're men. The problem with the typical woman is she doesn't find fulfillment in being a helpmate to her husband. Yeah, here's my little boy.
I think your son has something to say on the subject.
Well,
poor little guy.
He's a little upset because this lady was poking around in his arm looking for a vein for about 10 minutes and gave up and started poking around in the other arm.
Poor little feller.
And then he got a flu shot and a vaccination.
Yeah. Leave it to a woman to not be able to find a vein. She can find a wallet, but not a vein.
She was with her
Unless-
boyfriend. I'm sure she'd find a vein.
Unless that vein was filled with money. Then they'd find it every goddamn time.
Yeah. But I think prior to the birth control pill and prior to feminism, women were not working, once they got married because they would get pregnant and have children. So careers were not, feasible. So they were, and because without the pill, they would not want to be pregnant and shame. So they would save themselves for marriage. So they'd have sex after marriage, and they would, not have a career. And today, they have sex before marriage, and they have careers after marriage.
Yeah, to be fair, in those bygone eras, you could survive off of a working man's income. It's a little bit different today. I mean, it's hard to survive off of a good income. I mean, Eli's in the chat, so he could definitely tell you about how hard it is to survive off a 6-figure income in the San Francisco Bay Area. Isn't that right? Isn't that right, Eli? Isn't that right, baby?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Well, I was just chatting with this older guy that I've made friends with at my church, and he's so old he can't even quite remember the numbers, right? But I was just kind of hitting him up like, well, when he got married at 23. He was like, well, how much were you earning? And you could tell he's guessing because so many years ago. Well, I think I was making about this much. And I go, well, how much was your rent? He goes, oh, I don't. So he thinks he was making $120 a week, and he thinks his rent was $90 a month. Say what?
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. A 23-year-old with no particular skills was making a third more than his rent in a weekly paycheck. Don't you wish you could do that?
Of course. I'd be living the high life like Steve Windley.
What's going on, everybody?
Hey there, TFC. Welcome. Assist Elite 810 in the house, the artist formerly known as TFC Fan 2021. We have 2 viewers. We're talking about Joe's Christian marriage book written by a rabbi, a Messianic Jew.
No. A Messianic Jew was reviewing it on YouTube. This guy is just Jewish.
Oh, yeah, obviously. He's a rabbi. My bad.
That's right.
Apparently the bourbon is already starting to kick in. So
That's all right. That's right. But, it's a real interesting thing in that the woman is a reflection of the man. Now, I'm going to just, preface it by saying, probably a religious woman, a Christian or Jewish woman,
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pop in here before someone like MA comes in and says, "What are you simps talking about?" I'm gonna go ahead and get that little jab out of the way before we get too far in depth.
Well, we're not talking about going to Cambodia and having ladyboys give you a massage
And getting them shackles.
Shackles, right?
Yeah, give me them shackles. Isn't that right, baby?
So I'm wondering, did Eli have to take his Honda Accord across the bridge and pay that $7 toll today, or did Dana let him stay?
I don't know. I'm gonna read something. I got a comment from my boo thing, Carly Ellison, today.
Really?
Yes, I was quite surprised, and it was very non-cunty.
Okay.
Yeah, she actually commented on our stream last night, our after party, about Coach Eli.
Oh.
So Eli, if you're still watching, Carly said this about you. If you haven't heard it yet, she said, "I respect the guy." Then a second later, he's emotionally weak. Eli talking out both sides of his mouth again. He's disingenuous, and he's so damn needy for validation. You two did not agree with him, at least not totally, and that frustrated him. His desperation to disparage Jamie, who I wouldn't date now that I've had time to consider it, Splenda and 2%, really, was weak. Eli as a man is alien to me. Men that I know and respect don't desperately seek validation from others, male or female, or gossip for hours about someone who freely chose not to associate with him. I'll have more mean things to say later, but I have to finish my op reports. I subbed last night. Glad to be abroad. Yeah, I bet you are. I bet you are, Carly. But thank you for the sub. I really appreciate it.
Wow.
No, Assistily, we're gonna keep Eli off the stream tonight. No offense to you, Eli, but you keep having dudes' dicks in your mouth, and I'm not gonna have that on this stream. We're gonna try to remain as drama free as possible and just have a good hangout with the dudes, with the bros, and maybe even Carly if she comes in.
Yeah,
It's just gonna be a nice chat tonight.
Yeah, maybe another night soon, Eli. We can talk about Big John, the microphone.
And how Dana touched just the tip.
Dude, did JB make a video yet? You know he's got to make a video about it.
No, he did make a couple videos today. He did do one about the whole MA business. And he did a live stream, which I didn't watch yet. So I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I'm trying to remain outside of the drama today. I was up this morning while MA was doing his second stream. And I was in on it, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? What? Like he says when he comes into like one of our streams, like, what the fuck? What's this fuckery about? Well, shortly after it ended, it was gone, and so was his stream from earlier last night with Whiskey Stills and Tumbleweeds.
Well,
so maybe I don't know what the deal is.
JB downloaded the video.
Yeah, he did.
Then it's saved for all eternity.
Yeah, he downloaded it. He said as much on his live stream.
All right.
Oh, no, I'll say this though, regardless of what all comes out of this, or what the real intentions of MA was when he did this stream. I don't really want to talk about him while he's not here to defend himself, but I still respect the guy. I respect the fuck out of the guy. He's
I didn't watch
knowledgeable.
it, so I have no idea what you're talking about. You'll have to fill me in on the bullet points at least.
And basically, when I came in, it was MA talking to a woman, just like a regular conversation that you would have with your significant other. And it sounded like he was drunk, and maybe he was simping a little bit. Who hasn't done stupid shit when they're drunk? I mean, I fell asleep on my fucking keyboard while live streaming, so I can't really be one to talk about the bugaboos you get into while you're drunk. So, but maybe we'll have to see the whole stream to see what transpired from beginning to end. I said I only caught the last 30 minutes or so of it this morning. TFC, you saw Mindframe's live stream about it, so maybe you can fill us in on what you heard.
The live stream was mainly talking about another guy. I guess another guy that he was talking to.
Probably Whiskey.
No, it wasn't him. It was this. Hold on, I can tell you who it was. Let me tell you. Let me see. Some guy named Indispensable P-Tau 2.
Oh,
you
yeah.
Ever hear him?
He's pretty critical of like MGTOW 101. He's one of these monks. He's from the UK, I think.
Yeah.
His original channel got shut down, and I haven't resubscribed to him since he's had his new channels. So.
Yeah, but basically he just was just reflecting on. I guess that guy made a video about Mindframe. That poor kid. I feel bad for him.
I know. I feel for the little.
Yeah, I feel for
the little fucker.
Yeah, I think he needs some baby Tylenol. His mother's a little sick, so there's just something going around.
How old is he, Joe?
Almost 11 months.
Oh,
almost
yeah.
11 months. He's got the sniffles today and a little cough. So.
Yeah.
But he didn't have a fever, so he was okay to get his flu shot and vaccination.
I always felt like the bad guy when I had to take my son in to get all of his vaccines and his flu shots. Because, it was always me. I was always the one to take him in for all the bad appointments.
Okay.
So, I could be the bad guy that made him get a shot.
Well, you're not the one poking him. You're more like the accomplice.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be okay. You're not gonna get a shot today, boy.
Well, are you lying to him?
Fuck, he's getting a shot. He's getting a fucking shot. I know he's getting a fucking shot. I set the appointment up. I knew he was getting a shot. What a douchebag.
Yeah, I wouldn't be lying to the boy.
Well, you know, sometimes you have to keep the peace with the chillins, with the fuck trophies. You gotta make sure that they're calm before you go into the doctor's office. Because you don't want to be sitting in the waiting room with a little guy screaming at the top of his lungs. He's gonna have to get a shot, and everybody's looking at you like you're an asshole.
Yeah, I remember with our third, my youngest son, he was born with Billy Rubin. He was born basically real yellow. Well, he wasn't born that way.
So was mine.
Yeah, it was the day after he started turning real yellow. They were worried about his liver function, and everything turned out okay. But long story short, we ended up having to take him to the hospital like every day or every other day to have his bilirubin levels checked, and that was pretty miserable for everybody.
Yeah, that sucks. When mine was born, we had to get one of those beds that you know have to have him in for the whole time under the lights.
Yeah, and right.
You can only like take him out to feed him, so it's miserable when your kid's that little, that small, that new, and you can't just hold him the whole time. Because I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when my kid was born, all I wanted to do was hold him all the time, and having to set him in this little bed, swaddled up in this like straitjacket apparatus for 18 to 20 hours out of the day was fucking heartbreaking, man.
Yeah. We didn't have to do the lights. He never got that bad, but he was like borderline. I mean, they were literally about to give us the bed and the lights and that, but his levels came down like literally that same day. Thankfully.
Oh, thank God for that. Thank God for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was like the most torturous week of my life, was having to see my little kid just helpless in this freaking bed. You know, they didn't want to release us from the hospital, but it was kind of like the 3 days or whatever you know how insurance works. So
they want to get you out of there.
Oh yeah, we need this bed. We need the bed bad. But like the whole maternity ward was empty, other than like us and these other 2 or 3 couples that had babies. So it's just a kind of fucked up situation, I think.
Yeah, it is. But
could be worse. Could have had to leave him in the hospital.
Yeah, that's true. There is a silver lining. We didn't have to leave him in the hospital and come visit him and look through the glass wanting to hold the baby.
Babies are great, but they're fucking scary, man. It's like with my crazy background, I never tried to get too excited until they were like, my wife and I actually lost one. I lost a pregnancy. So, and then my middle son, we had like 2 major scares where we thought we lost him again. The second time, I should say. So like until, like even whenever he was a little guy, like I just like, it's just like every day, man, I was sitting like paranoid. I was a nervous fucking wreck. So. But.
Yeah, I was always afraid I was gonna break mine.
Huh.
They're resilient little fuckers though. Babies are.
They are.
Okay, how many times did you drop your kid?
Drop him? I never dropped him, thankfully. I was pretty good with that.
Oh.
I thought I had shaken him once, but really I just kind of nudged him too hard, and I freaked the fuck out over it for a long time.
All right. Did Eli go away, or is he still in the chat?
He just said sup a long time ago, so I think he just he bangs the bell. So either he just came on as soon as I came on, just because he banged that bell, baby.
All right. Well, you got 2 likes now.
Or he doesn't have anything to say. Oh, 2 likes? Oh, that's great.
You got 3 likes.
That makes me a real MGTOW. Isn't that right, baby? Isn't that right, Dana? I'm a real man.
Well, you have half as many likes as Eli did in his last show.
I liked his last show. I should have changed my vote because it was a fucking train wreck. But anyway, that's drama, and we don't need to deal with the drama tonight. The only drama we need is your kid being up and being very vocal. That's about the most drama we need in here.
Yeah, this little guy needs to go to sleep, but I don't know. I gave him a little bit of children's Tylenol, so let's see if that helps the guy feel better.
If nothing else, you can always give him a little bourbon.
It's funny.
You know, my sister-in-law from my first marriage, I heard, but she was living out of state, so it's just it's hearsay from my ex-wife. But I heard that she had a night job, right?
Yep.
And she had these two little boys, so she would give them that cough medicine with codeine in it.
Yeah, just to shut them up.
Kind of put them to sleep for the night, make sure they didn't get up. And she'd give it to them, go to work, come back, and never needed a babysitter.
Oh my God.
That's fucked up.
Oh my God.
Says the sociopath.
Yeah, but he's not a sociopath. He has compassion for children. So that myth busted, son. SPI that shit, motherfucker.
Yeah, so, you know.
You a sociopath, son? Rub a bitch on that shit.
You know, single moms
I do have empathy for children.
Yeah, well, you know, single moms got to do what single moms got to do, right?
Yeah. Well, funny story, though. When little buddy calms down, I'll go into it.
That is funny.
That's the real little buddy, you the real MVP, bro. You the real MVP, little buddy.
Yes. So it's like the second or third time I was on a hangout with SFM, right? And my wife was she was out, and I'm just sitting here with my son, and he's just making baby noises. And I don't think SFM knew that I was a married man with a kid. It's like, what? That's a kid. It's like, yeah, that's my son. I think I triggered SFM that night.
But doesn't he have children? So why was he getting triggered over that?
Well, you know, married men aren't supposed to be, you know, joining MGTOW podcast.
Well, you know, rub a bitch on it and, you know, call it a day.
Well, you know, if Trav invites me, you know, I'm going to say okay because I like Trav.
I kind of regret not having a fourth.
A fourth?
I don't know, man. You got enough shit on your plate. You don't need a fourth kid, too.
Well, why don't you look at your wife as your fourth child?
I already do, but I mean like a legitimate fourth.
What are you building a basketball team there, TFC?
That's what everybody keeps saying, but I just think kids are great. They get like addicting almost.
I don't know. I had one, and I was like, "That's enough. Let's just cut the tubes here. Let's rearrange some plumbing."
I don't know, man. I'm on the fence about it all the time.
Dude, that's the best thing you can do. Best money you can spend, bro. I'm telling you. You can go Harlem style with no regrets. Catch STDs, not feels, son. No pregnancies, bitch. But you're going monk anyway, so it's not like you really need the flow cut off.
That's true. Maybe, I don't know. It's just, like I said, there's something about it where kind of thinking back, I kind of regret not having one more. Well, we would have had four if we wouldn't have had the loss, so maybe that's part of it. I don't know.
So,
maybe you're trying to, you're more than that one lost pregnancy. That maybe that's why you're feeling that twinge of regret that you didn't have a fourth child.
Yeah.
It's called possibly.
Do either of you two subscribe to Nola Girl?
No, but I heard she.
No, go ahead, TFC.
I was going to say no, but I heard she had a miscarriage.
Yeah, I was watching her latest upload. It was pretty sad.
Not to change the subject, but Joe, are you hearing Are you hearing him okay? He's coming in all fucked up on my end. You sound clear, Joe, but
Nemo
Beard,
was
you're
breaking
coming in
up,
fucked up.
but I just heard him
man.
fade. I just heard
Yeah,
him
you're
fade.
coming in all kinds of fucked up.
Fuck, I got it from Eli. He fucking gave me sexually the stream transmitted fucked upness with my mic. That motherfucking cuck.
Yeah,
Well,
it's actually getting worse.
Maybe somebody else in the house is using some bandwidth. I don't know.
No. Actually, I'm the only one on the internet.
Oh,
Right now, everybody else is asleep.
You sound digitized. Like it's really shitty, actually.
Wow. Still, even now, this
Yeah.
is coming in shitty.
Yeah.
maybe you should
Sideways.
maybe you should rub your microphone.
I mean, Joe Buddy's coming through crystal clear, so I don't know why you sound like a robot. Now I can't hear him at all. Hello? Joe,
Yes.
can you still hear him?
Not really.
No, I can't hear him at all.
What the fuck, man?
Well,
Maybe try killing your video for a second. I don't know if that'll help.
dun dun dun.
Nothing. I don't hear shit. I hear you, Joe.
Well, how was your wife today? What
It's
is
okay.
this? Day 3 of not giving her any money, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
far, so good.
So,
But to be honest with you, I've been working a lot lately, so it's like I'm not really around to have any drama.
Can you hear me now? Am I coming in better?
Better.
just like that Verizon commercial.
Well, I touched it, so I Eli'd my microphone. Things are better. I'm gonna click the video back on so you can see my gloriousness. There we are. Hey, what's up, guys?
Hello.
I got my hair cut today.
Looks good.
Yeah, it was starting to bother me, and I went to my favorite male themed chain barbershop. They play sports and they clip your hair. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Maybe you don't have them there in Steel City, but it's a place called Sports Clips. They're
Is that where hot girls cut your hair?
They're supposed to be hot. I mean, a lot of them are approaching the wall at mock speeds if they haven't already hit it already. I got one of those like a single mom kind of stylists. I mean, she did a pretty good job. But oh fuck, where was I going with this? I just kind of went there. It's been like 6 weeks, 8 weeks since I got my hair cut, and I was feeling kind of shaggy. And I was like, well, fuck it. I want to get my fucking hair shampooed in a hot towel and fucking get my beard trimmed up. And it was really nice.
Yeah.
It's one of those like creature comforts I like is a good fucking haircut, like a full service haircut.
Now, would you ever consider letting a man do that for you, or does it have to be?
Of course, it could be a man.
Oh, okay.
But my old barber, he's very old, and the last 10 years or so, his hair cutting skills have declined.
Well, maybe he's not seeing so good.
No, he's a retired firefighter, and he's always like done the barber thing on the side. But he's just old, and he's kind of nearing the end of his career. And instead of trying to find another good male barber, I went to the chain, and the single mothers did a good job, so I decided to keep going back. Plus, I got the whole shampoo thing, and they give you a hot towel on your face, which is kind of nice.
All right. Yeah. Try not to catch any feels.
Oh no, STDs only, son. I catch no feels, bro, no feels.
Yeah, I wonder if being a barber is the fountain of youth, because here in my town, it's kind of the same story. There's a guy, he's a retired coal miner, and he's been cutting hair part-time since he was young. The fucker's 92 years old. He just turned 92 today. He still cuts hair. and he charges $5. I mean, you can't beat it.
Well, that's damn good. In
So
most places, you're charging at least $20 for a fucking just a simple haircut, man.
yeah, and he does everything. If you want him to trim your beard, I mean, the whole fucking thing. You know, straight
You know what
razor shave and everything.
Oh, I was just about to say, one of those really great lost arts is the fucking straight razor shave with the hot lather.
Yeah, that's
That
what he
makes
does.
you feel like more of a man than a fresh, like straight razor shave. Especially when you see him stropping the razor on the leather belt. That kind of shit is a lost art.
Yeah, man, this guy's
whole full
legit.
service for $5.
Yeah, this guy's legit for sure. I mean, he's not only that, but you don't just go in there for a haircut. You end up bullshitting with the guys up there for at least half an hour. You know, and it's just good conversation, if nothing else.
Yeah, that's kind of another dying institution in the country today is like the barbershop. The whole male space to talk shop and talk bullshit and talk sports and all that shit. You're getting replaced with all these lumbersexual, for lack of a better term, kind of hair salons where there's all these fucking like 25-year-old hipsters with beards. They've never walked a fucking mile in their life or chopped a fucking log or done anything other than get a mani-pedi on Sundays. And they're the titans of style now. And it's a fucked up situation, in my opinion.
It was funny you guys were mentioning before I came on, you guys were talking about like the olden days where, the man could work and the wife could stay home and, you could make it on one income. And I don't necessarily think that's gone just yet. I think a lot of people make a, kind of like a bad excuse sometimes that it can't be done. But I mean, at least in his case, his wife never ever worked, but he always had he was a steady coal miner and he cut hair too on the side. So he always had two jobs, but, I don't know. I'm not so sure that that's necessarily, not every household's, dual income. I think you brought up the fact last time that a lot of these kids' problems is they're raised by daycare workers instead of their parents. They dropped off at the.
Yeah, it's generation daycare nowadays.
Yeah, I think it's a damn shame. I think people are so worked up over having, latest cell phones and the newest car lease and the biggest fucking McMansion they can afford. When if you would, go out and, buy a modest home that's, 25% of your take home pay. I mean, it's doable. Especially, that's the biggest thing as your house cost.
Okay. All right. But you two tell me if it's different where you live. So where I live, it's not really growing that much. My state's a little bit screwed up. We have a lot of immigration coming in to Illinois, but then at the same time, we have native-born people moving out, so the population is kind of stagnant. Yet there's new construction. Now, does the new construction look like the existing construction? 1,000 or 1,500 square foot homes? No, they're 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 square feet homes.
Yeah,
so
they're 300,000 plus houses easily.
So there's just no.
That's a trailer in the Bay Area.
That's true.
You couldn't get a trailer in the Bay Area for $300,000. You couldn't. Not even trailer. The Bay Area. Live in the Bay Area.
Would that be a single or a double wide?
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
That's for a single wide, baby. Isn't that right, Dana?
Well, those are exactly what I'm talking about. These, stick houses that are just like literally, they call them McMansions. And, these like big home builders come through and put plans everywhere they fucking can. And these houses are starting off at, 250, 300,000. And people wonder why they both have to work. You buy a modest home, something that might be a little bit older, 30 years old or so. I mean, I can only give my example. My house was built in, I think, 76, 78, something like that. And it's modest. I mean, it's nice. It's remodeled, but it's modest, And I work 2 jobs and my wife stays home. It's totally doable. Just you have to be reasonable, right?
Well, it's. I think if you're talking about a man being able to support a family, that's half. That's half of the issue is living modestly. But the other half is where are the good jobs for all the men to have? There's good jobs for some men.
Oh no, there's good jobs fucking out there everywhere. It's just that no one wants to work. No one wants to take them. I
I agree
mean,
with that 100%.
you could
So
you could go to where I work at this machine shop with no experience for 14 fucking dollars an hour, which I mean, it's nothing to buy a Lexus with or anything, but that's $30,000 a year for no experience. Right in the fucking door, and we have so many people that just don't want to take that opportunity because they don't want to work. They've never known work in their lives, and it's quite sad. I've always worked hard now since I was 13 years old. I had my first job when I was 13 at a library, making $5.15 an hour.
yeah.
But it was work, and I did it, and I've had a job ever since. Like in October when I got laid off until I started at my new job, that's the longest I've been unemployed, since I was 16 years old. So there's plenty of good jobs out there, even if you're not qualified, that you could make a decent living on. If I was 18 again and I could have the same job opportunity that I have now, goddamn, I would take it in a fucking heartbeat. That'd be like living on the high horse.
Yeah.
$14 an hour is 18 years old. Fuck, I was only making $7.50 then.
All right, but do you have chains like Pep Boys where you live?
Oh yeah, there's chains everywhere.
So how much do you think those guys are making? Doing all
Oh,
the
they're
Probably
still making
$10.
$7.50 or $8 in this area. But the thing is, you got to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere, and $8.50 an hour or $7.50 an hour is better than $0 an hour. I mean, is my logic flawed in thinking that?
No, it's not flawed, but where our grandfathers were at, they were just graduating high school and they were making enough money to raise a family with no skills, being young and stupid.
Yeah, but nowadays everything is so overpriced you can't fucking afford it, and B, it's
Well,
always a rat race to keep up with the fucking Joneses, and it
I was
wasn't really a keep up with the Joneses scenario. Even in the 80s or early 90s, there wasn't such a pressure by society to keep up with the hoe next door, so to speak.
Yeah, you got to remember. I mean, our parents didn't have $200 a month cell phones. They didn't have internet. They really didn't have a cable bill. They didn't. They probably only had one car. They probably didn't go on vacation, and if they did, it was like to the lake for a weekend. These
I want to go
people.
to the lake.
Well, the thing is, I agree with Beard 100%. I think it's just people are keeping up with the Joneses. They see the next door neighbor got a new leased vehicle and they got to run out and get one too, or they got a bass boat. Now we got to go get a boat too. It's just like people are so wrapped up in materialism, they'll throw their kids in daycare with strangers to go work 2 jobs. I think it's crazy. I think it's totally fucking crazy. And I mean, I guess it varies area to area, but I mean, around here, man, it'd be hard to be unemployed. I mean, you would have to work fucking harder at being unemployed than working. But
Yeah.
like I said this morning, I think half the issue is these men nowadays, and I don't want to bring up my purple pill buddy, but to me, he's a perfect example of what the typical millennial is that doesn't want to, put on a pair of work boots and go down to the mill, and get a fucking job or go work at the, like you said, the CNC shop or whatever. I mean, those
But
jobs around here are probably 16 an hour easily.
Yeah.
who downvoted Nemo's video?
I don't know. Who cares? You know, I'm not focused on that. But here's the thing: is that nobody wants to sacrifice their comfort
Right.
for the possibility of comfort in the future. And I believe that being comfortable in the future while having some money from your income is a lot better than the temporary comfort of sitting on your ass and, you know, waiting for the shekels to roll in, so to speak.
I mean, yeah, you know, you don't want to put on a pair of work boots because you might get dirty. I mean, you might have to sweat a little bit. I mean, that's the fucking problem. And that's the attitude nowadays, and it's just accepted now. Oh, I don't want to work hard. Well, that's what you get then. You live in your parents' house, you know? And
Yeah.
I'm not anything special. My point is, if I can fucking do it, anybody can do it. I'm nothing special. Trust me. But I bought my house whenever I was 23 years old. And if I can fucking do it, anybody can.
The thing is it takes hard work. And like we said, these people don't want to put in any fucking effort.
Nope.
You know,
If it takes 4 jobs, you work as many jobs as it takes for you to fucking succeed. I mean, I've personally worked 4 jobs at once, but now I don't have to, you know. I could, I suppose, if I wanted to, but I don't have to now.
exactly. And the goal should be to make your working life easier in the future. I mean, look at Charles. He's working part-time and he's not, you know, he's not sweating it, even though, you know, he has a second income in the house that, you know, is better than his. But, you know, that's the dream. If I could make enough now to when I'm, you know, approaching 50, be able to work part-time and still, you know, live a comfortable lifestyle and be debt-free. I mean, goddamn. So why wouldn't you put in that effort while you're young, while you have the energy, while you
Yeah.
have the ability to develop your skill set? Because your younger years, that's the prime to take entry-level jobs and work your way up. You know, you have to start somewhere, and you're not going to start at CEO. There's just no way in fucking hell you're going to start at CEO. And I think that's where a lot of these younger people, you know, men and women, they think that they deserve to start at the top because they're so special that they don't have to work the bottom of the barrel menial jobs to, you know, make the big bucks. But, you know, sometimes you have to start at to be the one that's parading the show pony around the room, right?
Oh, trust me, man. It sounds like me and you are on the same page. I don't know if you guys noticed. Charles did a video the other day where it looked like he picked up his wife at work, and if I'm right, it looked like she works like at a craft store or something. It looked like she worked almost like Joanne Fabrics kind of store. He was
Yeah.
like at a chain mall, like a strip mall kind of thing, and he mentioned something about, oh, my spouse is at work, and she ended up filming him. So anyhow, just for what that's worth. So I don't know if she makes a you know, whole great deal of money, but like you said, he's debt free. You know, he made a temporary sacrifice for a lifetime of easiness, right? I mean,
Yeah, and it's all about making yourself comfortable further down the line because you don't want to be
yeah.
doing the kind of backbreaking work like I do, and like I'm sure you've done TFC or still do. We don't want to be doing that when we're 50 years old because our bodies just can't handle it. You know, we want to make life easier down the line for us and our children.
Well, this is why I really
Thank you,
enjoy.
MGTOW.
This is
Yeah,
why I really
that's
enjoy.
right.
MGTOW's the only way to live. I mean, he's very honest. He tells a story that he was a quote unquote artist. He was a musician. He was a loser. I mean, that was his words, not mine. He calls himself a loser. He had zero work ethic. He didn't have a job, and into his 40s, he couldn't really. It's too late. I mean, he's 20 years behind, 25 years behind his work history. By then you should have a hell of a resume. So these people, these kids that don't go to work, never build a fucking resume, and then they expect to get this wonderful job right off the bat. You know what I mean? It doesn't work that way. Not when you're in your mid-30s and trying to go get your first or second, third job. You know what I mean?
True, but there are just I just don't think there's enough jobs available for the vast majority of men to take. There's a lot of good jobs that are being unfilled right now, but if
I guess
every
it just really depends on the area, right? I mean,
yeah,
And
but
some areas are more economically distressed than others, so the jobs are going to be scarcer. But I think a vast majority of the country, there are tons of jobs that are just begging to be filled, and nobody wants to fill them because nobody wants to put in the effort. But
I mean,
go
I
ahead
can
and
only.
continue.
I
I'm
was
just
just.
looking at where I live, and there's a lot of like 40, 56-year-old men working at Home Depot or some other job that they can't they can't support a family.
Yeah. Well, that's sad. I mean, I think that's probably a long life history of making bad choices. Really, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of guys that get so fed up with their job, they quit their job making good money, and they go work at, like you said, they go work over at Lowe's because it's low stress or whatever, and just for something to do. But I mean, I don't know. It must depend on the area. I know in my area here, you could graduate high school, okay? You could go work for the railroad tomorrow, literally tomorrow, work on the railroad. They're always hiring. You'll start off as a track laborer. You're going to be traveling. You're going to be out in the weather. Yeah, it's a good paying job, but you're going to, you can work your way up to conductor, engineer. You could work in the dispatch center. I mean,
And that's a
yeah, I mean,
great income and great fucking retirement. You can retire in 20 years. It's like the fucking military.
yeah, it's a pension. I mean, that's one of the railroads, one of the last jobs that still has a pension. And you could
If I
do
would have
that
been,
right out of
go
school.
ahead. Yeah, if I would have been smarter, I had an opportunity probably about 10 years ago, right when I had started in plastics, that I could have went and worked for Norfolk Southern as a conductor,
Yeah, that's who I'm talking
but
about.
I didn't. I didn't, and I wish I would have fucking done it, because even though that's you know, one of the worst jobs that you can have starting out, just because you're pretty much on call
Yeah.
all the time and there is a lot of travel. But I mean, that's the way you get into it, and you can work your way up to like a yard master or an engineer, or even a locomotive engineer, making damn good money with damn good insurance and a damn good pension, and be able to be in and out within 20 years. So if I would have been smart and tried to do that shit when I was 18, I would be almost at retirement at this point in my life. And a lot of young kids don't think about it that way. And here's the one thing that I think our public school system is failing our children with, is that all of these high schools just push college on every single kid. Even the ones that the ones that you can see in high school that aren't going to cut it in university, and they don't give them the other option. Hey, you could go to trade school and learn a trade, be done in 18 months and be on your way to, a good career. You could become an electrician in 18 months and, eventually make your way up to, six-figure income, with just a fucking certificate. And I think that's where we're failing a lot of the younger generation, even back to the age when, like, I was in high school, and that wasn't, but 15 years ago. Every counselor I ever went to said you have to get on the track to go to college. And I went to college, and after 3 years, I failed out because I had no direction. And I could have saved myself a lot of heartache if I would have gone to like a technical school and gotten a certificate.
Well, like South Korea, if you know anything about that country, they love college. It's like high school in a way. So many people graduate. And the result is that unless you go to a top school, the college degree is pretty meaningless because so many. I don't know if I'm breaking up on you.
Yeah, you broke up a little bit, buddy.
That's because I walked too far away. I'm on a wireless headset. So many people in South Korea have a college degree that they're really not valuable. They don't. You kind of need one, but that's just so you don't get left behind. And I think that's what the guidance counselors are doing to us here in America. You almost have to in a certain way so you don't get left behind, but they're not doing anything for you like they did before.
Yeah. I don't know. My sister has her college degree. She has a master's degree, and she works for an automotive company. I'm not going to name names. She's working in the manufacturing field. That college degree helped on the resume, but she's not using it in her field. She's not using that piece of paper at all. So, and she's paying an exorbitant amount per month in student loans. So really, what was the juice really worth the squeeze in that situation?
No.
I don't think so. Really, it wasn't worth it.
I would say the best opportunity. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
No. I was just going to say welcome Charles F. Gray to the stream.
Welcome, Charles.
Let's give him a round of applause.
Yes. This
my
is
ghetto
Sandman
sound
here. Sandman here. I don't know who Charles F. Gray is, but Sandman here. Our topic for today is called... No, okay. Yeah, hey guys, how you doing?
Hello there, Sandman. Welcome to the show. We hope you've enjoyed yourself and this new content that I'm providing for you.
I was going to say, Sandman doesn't come online unless there's a donation involved, folks.
That's true.
Shekels. Give him some shekels.
That's very true. Yeah, I just want to kind of add to this conversation about careers and so on and so forth. When I look back in my 20s, no one ever said, hey, you should apprentice and do this. Hey, you should do that. I didn't know that there were that many doors open for me when I was in my 20s, right? Unfortunately, I just didn't have the, people saying, hey, you should do this, you should do that. This would be a good idea, and this is why. So basically, I took the route of university kind of thing, right? And a trade or certification in something would have done me a lot better, a lot more in life than a university diploma, right?
Sure.
I think that's the way to go, especially when you're young, and maybe even if you have a good idea of what you want to do with your life, maybe you're not sure if that's really what you want to do. Getting a certificate and kind of getting into a trade could maybe, open a few extra doors for you and allow you to build some money. And then if you find that you want to do something that requires you to go to continue your education in a typical university setting, then you would have the freedom and the means to do that without getting yourself into a fucking hole of student loan debt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you guys have in your area or even up in Canada, in my area where I grew up, we were lucky enough to have a technical school that we could go part-time. Like, for example, for my last 3 years of high school, I would go to high school half the day, and then I went to a technical school for half the day, and that's where I learned my trade. So I didn't even have to pay for that.
Yeah, we have a program like that here in my area, and that's great. I wish I would have taken that opportunity when I was in high school. They
had auto body, machinists. You could be a licensed CNC guy there, or they had culinary. All kinds of different things. I went for public safety. That's how I got into, my EMS career. But you could have, went there and been an auto body guy or something right out of high school. And not only that, but they had a co-op program where once you got, your classroom work done, they would actually find you a job. You would go to your home, high school half a day and then go to work. That was your technical school day, so to speak.
Huh.
We paid.
Yeah.
You could be a diesel mechanic at the one that I went to, or that was available to me that I wish I would have went to, or fucking computer networker. You could have been a licensed cosmetologist. That was like for the last 2 years of your high school career.
Yeah, people pay for that shit. People pay a lot, a good bit of money for that kind of education now.
Yeah,
medical assistant, whatever.
Yeah, when I was in school back in the when Fred Flint, my classmate was Fred Flintstone, and back in the 80s. honestly, like even if you're going to go into it, there were no training programs like that. So you would still basically go to school, graduate, and then you would go into your trade, whatever that may be, right? So it was, but yeah, there was no real push for it. They would just basically see what classes you were taking. They would have you do an IQ test, basically. I remember this because they wanted me to do an IQ test. So I was taking all these kind of like basic, kind of dumb courses in high school because I just wanted to take the easy courses. And, you know, they would base it on, you know, and I'm not putting down people in trades at all, but they would kind of base it on your IQ. So if you didn't, you know, if you kind of scored around the average IQ, they'd be like, well, yeah, you should go to trade school. But you would still have to graduate high school before you did that, right?
Well,
so it was, yeah, we didn't have the opportunity, but I think nowadays it's like a lot different where it's like, hey, you want to be a carpenter? Hey, you want to be an electrician? And you can, well, maybe not an electrician, but a carpenter, things like that. You could do that. It would be worth credits when you're going to high school.
Well, whenever I went to my guidance counselor, they laughed at me, said, I'll never be anything. I'll be a loser if I don't go to college. So I can't believe you don't want to go to college.
Well, don't you want to be winners? Don't you want to be a winner like the guidance?
That's what they said. Yeah. They're like, well, I'm like, I probably make more than you now. You know?
Hey, you got to go get that liberal arts degree. We want to keep you dedicated on this system for the rest of your life.
Well, like when I went to university, one of the first things I saw was, you know, basically all these tables set up with like where you could apply for credit cards and all of this kind of stuff. I'm not kidding. They were giving credit cards to students with no income.
Indoctrination, you know.
And there was all these posters. Like there are all these posters like, hey, you can be this or you can be that and blah, blah, blah. And it was just absolute indoctrination and bullshit, basically.
Yep. Feed the troll, man. Feed the money machine. You know.
Yeah.
Take
whoa! There's this dude with a beard looking at me. What
the hell? Eli.
Ah, fuck. Oh, it's just Eli. Oh, thought it was a fucking monster.
God. Does he have the mic with him?
In his place, and I'm on my iPhone plugged in. I'm using my laptop to render a video I'm going to be putting out tomorrow. I have two laptops I'm using. It's like a crazy studio here. So can you guys see me and hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Charles, thank you very much.
He's got gum in his mouth, so maybe Chris Can't Do isn't stuck in there too.
Well, I appreciate that, but Charles, first of all, I want to thank you very much for the plug. You know, you plugged myself and the bearded nemophilist in a different video, and also MGTOW's The Only Way to Live. So thank you very much for that, and thank you, Bearded, for having me on again. I'm not going to be on too long because Dan and I are going to watch a movie. If you care to know which one it is, I can share that. But
Jeremy.
Are you going to watch how Stella got her groove back, or Bridges of Madison County?
No, actually, I'll let you guys know. I'm sure you guys have seen this movie. I've seen it many times, but Dana's never seen it. Remember the movie from 2003 called Old School?
Oh, it's a good movie.
Vaughn and it's a fucking great with Frank the Tank. Remember Will Ferrell as Frank the Tank?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought you didn't.
Freaking.
Wow. You didn't want to watch Single White Female?
What about fried green tomatoes? That sounds like Dana would appreciate.
I thought they were going to watch
that movie. That movie's old as fuck. That's an old as fuck movie.
So is Dana.
Bazinga.
Joe.
Eli, my wife is the same age as Dana, so don't. You know, I'm just messing around with you,
dude. I was just gonna ask you how old your I'm not gonna say fucking because I don't know your wife. She's probably a really nice lady. I was gonna say how old your wife is, and you already answered the question you knew I was gonna ask next, Joe. Good. Joe, you're ready for this battle between the red pill and purple pill guys. I'm just waiting for Mindframe to respond. You, Charles F. Gray, and myself against Mindframe, Chris Can't Do on steroids, and whoever else the fuck they pick. Maybe it'll be Darius or somebody. But I like Darius, so I want to go against like
boring as hell.
He's boring. He is boring, but he's a nice guy. He's not a dick like these guys are.
But
But did you guys hear that Angry MGTOW's channel is gone? If you go to it, it's gone.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
I stopped being a sub of him like 6 months ago, so I wouldn't know.
I can't watch him. He sounds like a fucking brat. He sounds like a
it.
whiny, spoiled fucking brat.
Hey, did you know that if you watch Angry MGTOW videos, you'll wait for the collapse so you can have a bunch of bitches?
But guys, you know what's funny? I have to ask you guys a question on this, because when I went over, I heard about this through the show the other night on my channel. I can't remember who mentioned it. I went to Angry MGTOW's channel earlier today, and it said this channel does not exist. And I know he had 2 community guideline strikes, and when John's channel was removed, it said this channel has been removed due to violating community guidelines on YouTube. So I'm wondering if Angry MGTOW just removed the channel himself and is playing a game to transfer people to another platform, or if YouTube just changed what they put out there. What do you guys think?
I don't know, but Carly just said that you need to start selling purple pill Bitcoins.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna start selling them shackles, dude. I'm not gonna start doing the Chris can't do bullshit of trying to say throw me some shackles or shekels, not shackles, shekels. I keep fucking that up, man. It's not fucking shackles like when you're in jail. It's shekels, like the Israeli currency, like
That's
Joe
right.
mentioned, right?
Hey,
Right.
I just want to respectfully disagree with Carly. It's not purple pill Bitcoins, it's rainbow Bitcoins.
No, they're Eli Shackles.
Yeah, we'll call him Eli Shackles.
Ask
What
Chris
does Howard
Cantu
Dare think I
about
should
it.
do?
All
What does
right.
Howard Dare think I should do?
All right, Coach Eli, this is Howard Dare. I honestly think you should market the Eli Shackle. You know, start circulating it in the MGTOW circles. You know, send a bunch to Chris Can't Do. Maybe send Mindframe a few, and you know, you can just watch your profits soar, and then you can co-opt it and make it the MGTOW currency. And I encourage you to like, comment, subscribe, as I do plan on making more content for you. Good evening, MGTOW. Good night, man.
I have one more question, and I'll shut my mouth. Okay. What's his name? Sarah LaCourte made a comment on one of my videos last week, and he was saying that he thinks I should register trademark the MGTOW name and screw over these fucking red pillars. You know, it only costs $300 to register it in the U.S. for 10 years. What do you guys think about that? somebody
I guess it'd be a good business decision. It'd be a good business decision.
How could you register MGTOW? There's a MGTOW.com already.
It doesn't matter. Here's the way it works. Because I have a registered trademark on my organization, the Genuine Networking Association. Coach Eli is a subsidiary of the GNA, which is short for Genuine Networking Association. It's the organization where I used to run live networking events, and that's where all of my personal businesses stem off of there. Basically, if there is no registered trademark on, let's say, MGTOW, anybody can register trademark it. It's the first person that goes to claim it. The first person that goes to claim it gets it, and at that point, whoever has it can go out and say, "Okay, well, I've registered trademark MGTOW. Can no longer use it." Or I can say, "Hey, go ahead and use it as long as you use it with grace." It would be my control because I would own the trademark on that.
But what about artistic copyright though? Because here's the thing: you invent something, and then someone else tries to copyright it. Let's say you create a new comic book character, and that person sees your work and then copyrights it. Like, you know, I thought there was artistic. I know in Canada there's artistic copyright, and it's an automatic copyright.
I think copywriting is different.
In the States.
It's different than trademark, and I think the copyright procedures are the same here, Charles. When it comes to registered trademarks, it used to be if you can prove that you've been, using the trademark that you're trying to register for a while, registers it before you, they would let you do it if you can prove it was yours beyond a shadow of a doubt. But now it's first come, first serve. So if the MGTOW name is not registered as a trademark anywhere in the world, anyone can register it, and then they have control over it. That's just the way it works. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to do that.
Oh, I think you should. You're cuck of the year. I think that would be a very cuck of the year move to register the MGTOW label as a trademark. I would laugh if you did that.
Yeah, but they could just change the name, right? I mean, they know the term. You know, you could just call it something different, though, right? And move on with it.
I don't know if I don't know.
Yeah, but the ones who that label really matters to are too lazy to think of something else. I think.
What I mean is, if you're selling gasoline, it's Exxon, but you trademark Exxon, where you're still selling gasoline, you just call it something else.
It's just MGTOW's so well known.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's they could change the name, but I don't think it would have the same punch to it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm going to do that, guys. I was just throwing it out there because
it's kind of funny though. It'd be a funny joke. I'll tell you know, if you want to look at it as a gag or whatever, it'd be great for a laugh. But one thing I wanted to say here, I just want to bring this up really quickly, is Eli, I emailed you a link that is, I don't know who did it, but it's someone doing a video on that red pill coin thing and their opinion of it. You know, take it for what you will. And then Carly also mentioned that basically Marcus did a video calling out Chris about this. Carly mentioned this. And I guess the video is called "The Red Pill Coin is a Scam," which I'm not aware of. And yeah, I mean, it's very interesting stuff.
Go ahead.
Well, Angry's selling some, or was selling some. Is that the red pill?
Well, it's like crypto. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much you guys know about it, but Chris Cantu apparently selling the where you can buy like his version of Bitcoin, which is called the red pill coin. It's a cryptocurrency.
I was gonna say I'm not gay, so I haven't heard. I don't keep up with cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
I prefer physical. I prefer real money.
Yeah. I prefer gold and silver.
I'm getting a bunch of links here, and I'm approving this. I'm getting these messages saying you were right. Some people are sending me videos saying the red pill coin is a scam, and the Purge Mercenary just commented on one of my videos, and a guy named Yoel Romero, they're sending me that video. The red pill is a scam. The red pill currency is a scam. Is that the one you were trying to send me, Charles?
Yeah, well, I emailed it to you the old-fashioned way. I emailed it to you, and this one, shit, who is this guy that did this? Sorry, I'm just pulling it up now.
Groundwork for the Metaphysics of MGTOW.
Yeah, and he actually breaks it down
views.
Yeah, this one, I guess he calls it the red pill coin is a scam, groundwork for the metaphysics of MGTOW. But he breaks it down. He's not just saying, hey, he actually breaks it down and explains it for us people who know very little about cryptocurrency, right? So it's interesting. Yeah. And basically, in essence, what it says is you're buying the coin for the sake of having the coin, but it has no intrinsic value. You know?
Yeah.
You don't get dividends. You don't. Basically, you're buying like it'd be like buying Monopoly money.
Yeah, Charles and Bearded guys. You know, I'm not. How do I say this? I'm really shocked, and thank you for making me aware of this, Charles. Because I haven't been on my YouTube channel. I spent the day with Dana. We did a nice walk, and we had a nice Mongolian barbecue dinner, and then we went to a place called Fenton's. You guys may have heard of it. It's a creamery. We went there for dessert, and we got back, and we recorded a video earlier today, which will be released tomorrow, and we're going to be watching the movie. But I just ended up getting on YouTube right now. First time since earlier this morning, and I'm looking at these comments, and I can't believe it. And maybe I'm not trying to say I'm all that. I'm not trying to, better myself by saying, yeah, I was right about this, but from getting scammed. I want to help people get protected from getting scammed. And this right here, I mean, I'm at a loss for words, Charles. Thank you for sharing it. It makes my night.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen to Chris Cantu, but you know, I'm glad someone put it out there.
Yeah, and just again, basically, like Carly mentioned, like the fact that Marcus, or sorry, who is the guy that did the other one? Where the hell is Carly says the red pill coin is a scam, Big Tau. Oh, Marcus calling out Chris about this, and they're supposed to be buddies or whatever. So him doing a video on that, which I haven't seen. Carly mentioned it, so I'm just mentioning it here.
Wow.
And, but I mean, yeah, and other people sending you links and that. And I'll admit that, Eli, that I think you were the first one to pick up on the oddness of what Chris Cantu was doing.
Well, do you mind if I speak on that very briefly, guys?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Can I just mention one thing very quickly? Bearded, it's your channel. Is that okay to mention something? Because I'm not trying to steal your show. I'm trying to protect.
Go ahead. You've only got so much time that you can be on, so we'll get back on track afterwards. So go ahead and say your piece.
No, but dude, this is about saving guys money and saving them from losing their ass and getting scammed. The bottom line is that no one had the balls to confront Chris Cantu. Number one, because he's a big buff guy, probably on steroids. And I don't know if they're legal where he's at in Thailand or Cambodia. You could probably get human growth hormone there on any corner. It's still unhealthy to do it, and it fucks up your testosterone and shit. But he's definitely probably on some steroids, being that big, and him having 8,000 subscribers. Look, I think Mindframe even knows that Chris Cantu is scamming people, but Mindframe is playing the game because of the fact that he's trying to leverage, Chris Cantu's 8,000 subs. He's trying to leverage Darius's 8,000 subs. These guys are all trying to get on my ass about leveraging all this shit, and they're more full of shit than anybody, in my opinion. And it's just, you don't know who you can trust out there. So I just felt that Chris Cantu was just not genuine because of that video he put out, and then he starts talking about throw me some shekels or shackles. I call them shackles, but they're shekels. Mm-hmm. So I'm really happy that this has been exposed, and I just hope the men that have been contributing stop contributing immediately. What do you think?
Make a video on it. We need a video on it, Eli.
I am going to make a video
God damn
on
it.
it. Probably, it's not going to go
Taking the Lord's name in vain. God damn it.
You need to be as emotional as you were on the Christmas.
No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm doing Coach Eli Live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern for 3 hours while Dana's going to be out running some errands. I am going to talk about it on the show tomorrow. Is cryptocurrency, red pill currency, a scam? So if you guys are around tomorrow, let me know. We're gonna go down. We're gonna really, go nail and tooth on this thing. And I'm sure Mindframe and the rest of them will hear about this. But yeah, I'm not even gonna wait.
Yeah, just make sure. Basically, what I would say, like again, I don't know. I mean, Carly Ellison's video should be, or the one she mentioned should be a good one. The video that I sent you the link to is pretty informative. It actually explains everything. So I would highly recommend watching that. But I mean, for me, the verdict is I'm not going to pass judgment on Chris Cantu because sometimes someone might have an idea and they may have the greatest intentions, but it just ends up not working out as well. So I'm going to reserve my judgment on Chris Cantu on specifically the red pill coin situation, right? I'm going to reserve my I don't think it's a sound business model, but is he doing it out of just trying to scam people and make money, or is he doing it because he actually believes in it? He just might be naive because he's not a programming guy. He's a marketing guy.
He's in Cambodia. If you guys watched his video a couple days ago, live video that he did with MGTOW expat, I don't know if you saw that, Bearded. I'm just trying to give you guys, I'm trying to tell you guys where to go because there are so many videos happening and we're all busy working, doing our own shit. We don't have time to do this, but we need to verify this, right? And because he's living in Thailand and he was in Cambodia, and when he went live, he said, thanks to everyone out there for supporting my trip with your shekels. That's what he said. And he was like all cocky about it. He said, supporting my trip with your shekels, supporting my lifestyle with your shekels. Mm-hmm. Clear enough, then I don't know what the fuck is. Seriously.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the thing is basically, yeah, sure, I get that part of it, but basically, People like, and you know, he might be referring to just a super chat, people super chatting him a bunch of cash or whatever, which is, I guess he can do with it as he wishes.
Yeah, I mean, if people knows he's blown it on hookers and blow, I mean, they still want to support the channel. That's their choice, right?
Fucking
we
ridiculous,
might not
though,
agree.
man.
I know, I agree. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying if people know that that's what he's doing and they still choose to donate, you know, that's not, there's really nothing you could do about that.
That's true.
Carly brings up a point that we support Charles's life with our PayPal donations, maybe, but at least Charles is transparent, saying, "Hey, I'm wanting donations for a new camera." I mean, Can't Do may have came out after the fact and said, "Oh, your Shuckle supported my trip," but has he been transparent the whole time? I don't know. I don't watch his videos. I think he's boring as fuck, and I wouldn't send him a goddamn penny. So
and he's full of shit.
That's me. Well, a lot of guys are full of shit, Eli. We're all full of shit, but you know, not all of us are gonna, leverage other men just to get a goddamn Taiwanese ladyboy to shoot steroids in our dick, you know?
Emotionally weak men that he's taking advantage of, because men that are emotionally weak are more prone to throw a larger amount of money to help another emotionally weak man. That's all I'm saying. He's preying, PREYING, on these emotionally weak men, and that's what's really bugging me. But go ahead. I just wanted to mention it.
He's going to have to answer for that, you know? But your conscience is clear, right? Mine's clear. I didn't scam a bunch of dudes out of money just so I could, fuck ladyboys in Taiwan, you know? He's going to have to answer to that.
But maybe now people can believe that I'm not really this fucking cuckload fucking bullshit, that, I'm here to do good for the people. And I, like I said, I'm getting comments now on my channel saying that looks like you were right. And they send me a link to the video and I approve those comments. I'm like,
see,
fucking A, I cannot wait to see what happens with this tomorrow, the next day, man. This shit's gonna get way out of fucking hand.
See, now they're all eating crow and fuck them, you know?
Yep.
They're in the wrong. You're not in the wrong. So, fuck them. You don't have anything to feel sorry about. They will. That's my point, is that you shouldn't bother too much with what they think about you. You're saying what you believe is true. And now, hey, it turns out that Cuck Eli was right. So they're going to have to eat the fucking humble pie.
You're right, man. And you know what? I want to congratulate you once again, Bearded, in front of everyone else here, because I'm going to go in about 2 minutes, and I'll give everyone a chance to, if you guys have anything you need from me before I go. But I want to congratulate you on a serious note for your channel starting to grow, man. And I personally want to help continue, I personally want to continue helping you grow is what I'm trying to say. I'm sure Charles F. Gray feels the same way, and Joe Buddy. You've brought a lot of value to Charles's shows and my shows with these after parties. It is a great fucking idea, man. And I greatly appreciate it, man. I mean, I really appreciate it. Takes a lot of work to put a live stream together. And if I could do them 6 days a week, I would. But if you're going to do, a couple extra on top of the ones we do, I'll participate, because it's really easy to just put on a fucking headset and on a phone and just talk. So I appreciate it, man.
Well, thanks, Eli. Thanks, Coach Eli. Howard Dare also appreciates, the fact that Nemo is, coming on and doing some live streams. We can't do, excuse me. Oh, that blood pressure medicine's giving me the coughing fits. But, we can't do the after parties, all the time. He wishes he could. But, it's great that you guys, you got more subscribers than him. You're coming on, helping out. He's providing new content for you, which I'm a big advocate for new content. So, thanks for that little shameless plug. Howard appreciates it. Thanks for stopping by.
You got it, man. Does anyone else have anything else for me before I go? I'm not trying to steal, Bearded's show, but I'm going to get going in 2 minutes to watch a movie. Anyone else have anything?
Eli, I have something to say here. Just again, I might sound like a broken record, but check out that Darius's video that Carly mentioned, as well as check out that link for the video that I mentioned, because at least that one anyways, because I haven't watched the Darius one, it goes into a lot of detail. And I thought it was really well done. And I think it's something that you want to watch that before you make a video on it, because it explains it very well, right? And there have been other MGTOWs in the past who, I guess whether you could say whether they were scamming from the beginning or whether it was their heart was in the right place, but they fucked up, so to speak. He mentions them as well, the mayor of MGTOWN or whatever. And I think, what was that other guy? Shit, I can't remember his name. Who also basically, tried to kind of, not with cryptocurrency, but got donations from people to try and do something, and then it just didn't turn out as anything.
Yeah.
Barbarossa is going to write a book, and people gave him a bunch of money, and then he never did it.
Still no Barbarossa book.
Yeah. So the thing is, yeah, Barbarossa, yeah. And so the thing is, basically, it's like, again, where I'm saying the verdict, like for me, I haven't made up my mind, is basically, is Chris Cantu trying to do the red pill currency? Is it coming from a good place, or is it basically literally just a scam and nothing's going to happen with it, and he'll just pocket the money and, disappear in the wild blue yonder, right? Who knows? Right. But he should be more he should be more forthcoming with the whole, like, hey, send me some money, I want to go to Thailand and have some fun. Just say it off the bat, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely, Charles. I'll check out those videos either tomorrow morning, or if I'm still up after Dan and I watch a movie, I'll check them out. But definitely before I do Koshia Live tomorrow, I'll watch him, because we're going to talk about this stuff. 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, guys. If you want to join us tomorrow, we're going to discuss this. It's serious. We need to get it out there, and we need to protect as many men and even women as possible. But primarily, this is affecting men. Does anyone else have anything for me, real quick, before I go here? Before I get my ass kicked again by Dana tonight, because Dana kicked my ass last night.
Yeah, I got something to say.
Yeah.
I downloaded your Christmas meltdown video. And I also downloaded something called Lightworks. So I'm gonna see what I can do with that.
Feel free, Joe. You have my permission. You're hearing it right here live. I'm not gonna flag that shit. It's actually pretty funny that people want to dissect my Christmas rant. That's great, man. That's like my Christmas gift to each and every one of you.
It's like herpes. It's a gift that keeps on giving.
It's like herpes. It's a gift that keeps on giving. Fuck. Joe, are you asking for my permission? Is that what you're asking?
Well, I was taking the Charles challenge, so thank you for your permission.
Well, it's fair use anyway, dude, but you have my permission regardless. I mean, do what you want to do with it. And if you guys have any problems, if YouTube gives you shit about, using my videos and getting content strikes, let me know, and I will personally write into them and say that I gave you guys permission. So whatever you want to do, dude. I mean, I'll tell you what, let's have a contest. Whoever has the most creative fucking recreation of my Christmas Day rant, then I'll come up with a little prize for the winner. I'll figure out what it is.
An hour of free life coaching.
Well, no, because you guys don't value. You guys don't value that. So it'll have to be something better than that. But I'll come up with something.
I would value it.
Are you gonna give us some shackles? Some shackles? As a prize?
I'll give you guys some. I'll throw you guys some purple pill shackles, not shekels, right?
We can get on the ground floor of the Eli shackle.
Listen, the purple pill shackles are legit. The red pill shackles are the fucking ones that are a scam. So we'll create the real shackles here in Purple Pill Land. How's that?
All right.
That's right.
Anything else, guys, before I get out of here?
No, have a good night.
Yeah, all right, guys. Bearded Charles and Joe Buddy and who else is on here? Hey, Cicely. Thank you, guys. Have a great night. If you're on the show tomorrow, I'll see you guys there.
See you tomorrow.
Have a good night, Eli.
All right, good night, guys.
I'll catch a replay tomorrow.
All right, sounds good, man. All right, bye, guys.
Later. That was Coach Eli. So we did have some drama in the stream.
The illustrious Coach Eli.
Yeah. The rainbow pill cuck of the year. And Eli Shackles, it's going to be a thing. Get in on the ground floor of the new hot cryptocurrency. Totally not a scam, guys. It's legit.
Oh, hey, bearded one. I did just send. I actually emailed you the link to the link that I sent to Eli. Yeah. I just kind of messaged you there just in case you wanted it or whatever, and it's actually just really well explained. So
Yeah, definitely. I won't make a video on it, but I definitely want to see all of it. You know,
Yeah,
I
check
pretty
it out.
much thought that was a scam from the get go. But you know, I don't like putting other people's name in my mouth. You know, because I don't want to end up being wrong. Oh, Carly, coming in the chat when Eli's not here to defend himself. Speaking of scams, when does the new nonprofit men's center break ground? It's a battered men's shelter, which I think is like some sort of fast food chain.
Now,
Second week in January.
if Eli puts that in the Bay Area, he could like go somewhere when Dana like gets mad at him.
Yeah,
it's his own personal doghouse.
Yeah, he has a room reserved for him.
Oh my!
Oh,
I don't even know what we were talking about before Eli had to come on.
College education, trades,
Yeah,
living off of one income, living debt free, the whole 9 yards, being debt free.
Eli must trigger Nemo.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to get all Jamie about the situation. So I don't know. It just sometimes want to keep a stream drama free. Eli, he always brings some baggage with him, and it's usually dramatics. It's good that he was right in this scenario because he really needed to be right, I think.
Right about what?
The whole can't do situation with the scam on the cryptocurrency and scamming guys out of money. Could see that from a mile away, right? I mean, he kept getting flack for it.
Well, I just took it as a scam as a given. I didn't think it was any great discovery.
Yeah, but I think Eli was the one who basically was the first one to kind of bring it forth. You know what I'm saying? You know, and actually make a video on it and so on and so forth. So, you know, I'll give him props on that kind of thing. And he did get some heat for it as well. But yeah, I mean,
Mind Frame was really critical.
Yeah, I guess for me, I don't.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Like for me, I guess I like to try and get all the information before I say, yes, this is a scam or this isn't a scam kind of thing, right? So it's like, would I invest in it? No, because I just don't think it has a value. It's like an invented currency. And it's not backed by anything. But, you know, I'm kind of skeptical about a lot of cryptocurrencies because I don't know what they're backed by, right? I don't understand it well enough, right? So, you know, sometimes, again, their heart might be in the right place and they might try and do something that sounds like a great idea, but in practical terms, it's a really bad idea. And this could be that, or it could just be legitimately a scam. But I guess we're going to have to see how it plays out. And it may really never go anywhere. Because I don't even know who did buy the purple pill currency. I mean, the red pill currency.
Well, Angry MGTOW was selling something. Was that what he was selling?
I don't know, but that is suspicious. Why his channel is all of a sudden disappeared? You know, as in not existing, not that removed due to community guideline strikes. You know, Eli brought up a good point. That is kind of suspect.
Yeah.
Well, Angry MGTOW is conveniently living in another country, so he is currently outside of the jurisdiction of the United States.
You know, how convenient for him, and Chris can't do both, bound by U.S. law.
So he was selling the currency then? That same thing?
Angry MGTOW was selling some sort of red pill coin, but I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's one and the same with whatever Chris is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to remember, Chris is boring as hell to me, so I don't watch his crap too much.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, me either.
And I really don't
crying
watch
video
Angry
was
MGTOW.
funny though. Yeah, Angry MGTOW, like I said, sounds like a spoiled kid, and his content's just not, you know, groundbreaking, so it's not really worth watching.
But Angry MGTOW's really purple pill if you think about it. He keeps talking about the collapse, and then those fucking bitches, then they're gonna come crawling back. Why do you care if you're MGTOW?
So I think maybe he's more incel or TFL.
Well, and you guys are talking about Can too?
No, Angry MGTOW.
Angry.
Oh, Angry MGTOW.
Because he keeps talking about the collapse, because he thinks it's like right around the corner, and then the women are gonna have to mind their place, you know, and then
Oh,
Yeah, they're
show
gonna come
them.
throttling back.
Yeah.
I'll show them. They'll come crawling to me.
And then I'll have all the bitches, all the my angry MGTOW self. I bet they like my neck beard. Isn't that right, Mom?
Yeah. Like what I would say, have you guys seen that? Again, not say that Joe Buddy would, but there was that Chris Cantu video where he was, I think it was shit. I think maybe when he was first in Thailand, where he's talking about, like how he would want. He was actually talking like a guy who wants to get married and all this stuff, at least for a portion of it, because he was just doing like a stream of consciousness going from one topic to another. And it seems like basically he does want a good woman, a good traditional loyal woman and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
right?
he definitely does. Yep, you're right.
So
He does.
how can that be MGTOW? Because it's like, isn't MGTOW basically literally going your own way by yourself, without a chick?
Yeah.
So, and then he talks about how purple pill isn't real. Well, the way he's phrasing things, at least in that little section of his video, is purple pill. It's being aware, but you still want to be in a relationship.
Yeah, and I think there are a lot of these expats that kind of have that similar line of thinking, like that they moved away from this country to get away from the Western women so that they can maybe move in on a woman from a more traditional background.
as long as they stay there, they can have it.
No, but
That's right.
they'll get them and they'll bring them back here and then they'll westernize and they'll divorce them and then they'll be crying in their car for 25 minutes about why nobody likes them and why they can't get women to date them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that would presume that Chris Cantu lives in his mother's basement.
No, he just lives in his Jeep in a parking lot.
Well, yeah, I saw that.
So which is the worst situation? I think I would give points to Jamie if I were to compare him to.
Sorry, Jamie. We're just making cheap jokes. We love you, man.
He's not watching. He's probably out looking for another Nawalt. Again, that's a joke. I still like you and agree with you on some things, Jamie. If you're watching this, which I doubt you are.
Yeah, like and of course TFC him and Jamie are like really close good friends and they seem to get along really well.
Yeah, I think they were braiding each other's hair last week.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. But yeah, like the whole this is what I noticed. I don't know, we'll talk about the Jeep thing kind of going in a weird angle here, but and no offense to any of you guys who drive Jeeps or whatever. I'm not saying they're bad vehicles, but the Shaman, my kind of, I would say, ex-friend, the Shaman, who's a pickup artist, he denies he is, but he is. And he drives a Jeep, And I've noticed a lot of guys who are pickup artists drive Jeeps. Because that's the cool thing. That's the thing that picks up the chicks. You know what I mean? Like, does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Like that style of Jeep?
Yeah, like a Wrangler.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeep Wranglers type.
Yeah, especially now that's kind of like a status symbol because the Wranglers of today are not like, familiar with the ones that are for off-road. Now they're kind of just like show pieces.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I like even locally, basically, even the people in my neighborhood or just around the city or whatever, anytime you see someone driving one of those vehicles, usually it's a guy, to be honest with you, for the most part, in his 20s or 30s, who's a pickup artist, with the brand name clothes and all that kind of stuff. Like there's a certain image that goes with it kind of thing. And when I've met men, including the Shaman, who's in his 40s, who do drive that style of Jeep, whether they identify with it or not, but they are, when you talk to them, they are pickup artists, At least in my experience, right? I'm not saying every single person who drives one of those things, but it seems like there's a certain personality type that is drawn to that particular type of vehicle.
All right.
And this is my opinion, right? And I read Carly's little thing there or whatever, but this is just from my experience. I'm not saying every single person, but the people that I've met who have Jeeps, generally speaking, are pickup artists. I know it's weird, right? But
now Carly likes married men and Merlot. What type of car should that man be driving, Carly?
This. Let's take another cheap stab at Jamie. He drives a Lexus.
He sure does.
Well, Carly said she would be really interested in Jamie, but then she reconsidered.
Oh, she reconsidered?
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't like his preference for 2% milk and Splenda in his coffee.
You'd have to meet at the Motel 6 because you're not going to go over his parents' house to have sex.
No, well, he could sneak her in.
Wait a
I
second.
suppose.
Carly Ellison drives an Accord, and she's a
She claims
doctor.
to be a
$250.
doctor.
And she's
Wow.
a doctor. Do you live in the Bay Area? Are you having trouble paying your rent?
Well, not every MD gets doctoritis, you know. And depending on what kind of doctor she is. I know
she drives a Ford truck, so she can get on my stick shift if she really is a woman. But I still have my reservations that Carly is a man.
It's a man, baby.
But she said she'd fly him out.
She would fly Jamie out?
Yeah, she'd fly him out. I mean, you know, which kind of sucks because when her and I kind of got together, I had to fucking pay for my own flight. So that kind of sucks.
Oh, geez, you didn't even rate cab fare, Charles? That's kind of shitty.
Nothing, man. I'm just kidding.
But
anyways, does Carly like the we'll go into more, I don't know. Yay, Bearded, this is your show, but I was just kind of curious. Do you like the younger married man or the older married man?
I think she's looking for like a stud, so I'm gonna guess the younger married man. Doctor, she's probably, you know, she's rolling in the red pill coins.
Yeah, there you go. Carly, are you going to convert all your money to red pill coins?
I'd be curious to know why a woman would be particularly attracted to a married man. I mean, is it because he's kind of like, so off limits, so to speak? I mean, I don't know.
Well,
yeah, I think it's the unavailability.
Fascinations be about just a married man in general. What's the difference?
I kind of figured that Carly's a plumper, and she takes what she can get.
Might be.
I'm just gonna say I'm still free.
There you go.
I'll piss on her face. You call me JB Cunningham.
Water sports.
Okay, she says here, challenge, excitement, no commitment. So I guess that's what it is, that particular aspect of the married man.
Challenge and excitement as in challenging that, oh, he's sneaking away from his wife for the night. Oh, it's exciting. I mean, is that the
or, you know, making the guy stray, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the whole difficulty of getting him to agree to break that bond, you know, for against the wall, pun intended.
Yeah. Do the guys have to sneak out in the morning when they realize what they've done?
Yeah, who knows?
They wake up and the beer goggles have kind of subsided and they see that they're laying next to Carly Ellison. I'm just joking with you, baby. You know, I'm a real man.
Isn't that right, baby?
I wonder what Carly thought about. Carly, what did you think about Dana and what she did with that microphone?
10 seconds.
10 seconds, yeah. Because, you know, that just seems scandalous, didn't it?
It was pretty funny.
Eli looked like he was enjoying watching her touch Big John.
The problem was Mindframes enjoyed it too.
I know, when he triggered her.
The mic stuff was stupid. Grow up.
I
Carly
love
doesn't
how
sound
she
very
bounces
adventurous.
back and forth from trolling to being the expert at morality.
Yeah, I was gonna say she doesn't sound very exciting in that regard.
Oh, Charles has been intimate with her. Is she really this boring? Low flows.
Well, she kind of gets she kind of gets a little bit wild. The more booze she drinks, the more wild she gets. Kind of like like some cocaine chick kind of style. So I'm not sure what the deal is with that. Yeah, it's weird.
I got a box of Franzia, Carly, if you want to come over and get weird with it.
I was gonna say, I mean, I don't know about the doctor side, but I'm trust me, I'm no Casanova, but whenever I was a younger man, some of the most kinkiest women I've ever been with were working in a hospital setting. I mean, you want to talk about
It's that they've got those 12-hour shifts.
I was gonna say, you want to talk
They're,
about a good place for a young man to go work at any hospital. You'll get pretty much any action you want.
Is it because the women are slutty or because they don't have options?
I would say it's a mix. I mean, you have older women there that are, married and probably not happy, and you have the younger, very attractive nurses there as well. And plus two, it's a very woman female dominated culture. So some of the nurses chase after the doctors, and that might not be realistic. But you have another male nurse there, or a male like medic, or a nurse assistant, and man, they're all over it. I'm telling you.
So there's a whole lot of fornicating going on.
Tons.
Yeah, long nights in the on-call room, buddy.
Well, it's not even the on-call room. It's empty patient rooms, elevators, stairways.
Yeah, you got a room with a dead guy in it. You got privacy.
Yeah. Yeah, just go down to the morgue.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not kidding. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if your wife is a nurse, I wouldn't put it past her.
Well, I think you make a good point, because the shaman's friend used to have a long-term girlfriend, and she was a nurse. And it's kind of well known that the nurses kind of, I'm not going to say every nurse, but they fuck around with the doctors.
Yeah.
So she ended up cheating on him with a doctor because, of course, this whole hypergamy thing, right? Where it's like, oh, doctor makes more than a cop. So see you later, cop. Hello, doctor. Because he was a cop he still is a cop, right? The shaman's friend. And yeah, she was cheating on him, and that with one of the doctors in the hospital. And that goes on a lot.
I mean, it was surprising. It was and like I said, I'm not trying to sound like I'm tooting my own horn, but it's quite an experience, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
So, it was enjoyable, very much.
Yeah, those great memories, eh?
Sure.
Yeah, reminds me of when I was in Korea, and I don't mean during the Korean War either, but when I was speaking in Korea.
Smash.
Yeah. And I had a Korean girlfriend. I mean, she was beautiful. Like, she was gorgeous, to be honest with you. And just everything I wanted in a chick look-wise, for sure. Even a nice personality and stuff. And then there was this American chick, which is kind of like basically like a like darker hair, but a Marilyn Monroe body type, except more curves. So it was very cool because it was like the situation where it was like it'd be like, one night would be the American chick, the other night would be the Korean chick, the next night would be the American chick, and yeah, it was kind of a great adventure, actually, kind of thing, right? And I got along with them both pretty well, right?
Wow.
So that's good memory, and you can really compare the different type of female bodies because one's more petite, but some curves on her Asian, and then the other one's like kind of an Amazon white chick, right? So it's kind of I don't know. It was I don't know. It was kind of a good experience, kind of thing. So it'd just be, and also basically I'd split up with my ex or whatever. So it was, to believe it or not, it was very therapeutic. Believe it or not. But anyways, yeah, that's ancient history, I guess.
But
so as a bearded one has to just run to the counter or whatever. I always can't pronounce your new username, but Asystole. How do you pronounce it again?
asystole.
Asystole. Okay. So asystole, where do you, and actually where do you, and same with Joe Buddy, like, where do you guys kind of think the whole MGTOW thing's going to go? Like in 10 years from now, let's say, or 20 years, do you think it's going to be a thing?
Well, who wants to go first?
You can go, Joe.
I've noticed that the young men have had a markedly changed attitude about equality. The Republicans in America were getting a little tired of Obama trying to do things with, like, Obama's putting in women in special forces. So like, you know what? Let's pass a bill to draft women, and it almost passed. It wasn't really serious. It was like, come on, let's show how absurd this is.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost passed. It had a tremendous amount of support from older men. And then it becomes a news story. They do polling on it. And while most Americans are dead set against it, the under 30 crowd is for it. So what's that's telling me is that the younger men are totally buying this equality stuff, that men and women are equal in just about every area, or all areas. Now, if that's true, and then you got the whole divorce is, terrible, and the laws are stacked against you, and the women are all kind of slutty anyways, why get married? And I think that is gonna take off.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's the MGTOW thing just dovetails with how men are already starting to think like under 30. So I think it's going to become more and more of a thing. I don't know if it's going to be called MGTOW, but men are going to be more reluctant to get married, and the women are kind of giving a man what he wants in certain ways. So what's the downside?
Yeah, I would second everything you just said. I mean, if I almost hate to say it, but I think if MGTOW was more available whenever I was 20, 21 years old, I might not have ever married. Because I did it for all the wrong reasons. I was just blinded by stupidity and kind of white knighting, I guess, in a way. And now that I look back at it, I think as the word spreads, more and more young men are going to not fall into that trap. And I think women are going to be looking around. I really do think they're going to be wondering, they're destroying themselves. And I think it's, MGTOW is what a reactionary thing to women abusing their power, right? I mean, so I really do think it's only going to get bigger and better. It's just, like I said, for me, it just came too late. So the younger, I think the younger you reach people, the better off they'll be. Men, I mean, not, so I don't know.
Yeah. Like, I know in kind of like my friend circle here or whatever, my people that I know locally or even not locally, they to be honest with you, majority of the men are single. All my friends are pretty much single, and the women that they have dated are they're single too, but the difference is basically my male friends who are single are enjoying it, and they're MGTOWs, but they just don't know it. I've explained it to them a little bit, but they just don't have an interest in it, but they themselves are in essence living a MGTOW life, right?
All right.
Whereas the women that I know kind of through them, that maybe they dated or whatever, they are disappointed because, you know, they're on the wrong side of 40. They don't have kids. They never got married. There's a lot of single women there. And yes, literally, they are turning into the cat ladies. I mean, it's the honest truth for sure.
Some like I think you had said it, Charles. Some men you just can't reach, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean,
This
I have
is
a
what we
buddy. Yeah, this is what we wanted. Well, he gets it. I don't like it any more than you, man.
Yeah, that's right. Very good. Very good.
But I mean, I got a buddy of mine that's, you know, he's engaged, set to be married, and it doesn't seem like there's any reason for him to do it. Every time I see him, I say, Scott, don't get married. There's absolutely no reason. And what you're going through now is only going to get 10 times worse if you get married.
Mm-hmm.
And he won't fucking listen. And I don't know why he's in a hurry. I think he has self-esteem problems, and he thinks that this is the only woman he's ever going to get. And I don't understand it, but I just he's going to find out the hard way. He really is, unfortunately. So,
and that's the thing, right? It's I don't know. I think
try to help them.
Mm-hmm. Perhaps some men are pushed into it. Perhaps you know, guys like to fix things, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? We try to
Captain Save-A-Ho.
Yeah, because what happens is basically women complain about their problems, but they don't want anyone to fix it. They just want someone to listen.
Right.
But man, we kind of want to fix things. So we think that we can fix things. We think we can fix these flawed women, and we can't. And that idea of like, oh, you got married and everything will be a-okay, and that's not true at all. When you get married, it actually amplifies everything. It amplifies the good and the bad.
But the bad that it amplifies is so much worse on you than any bit of what good can actually come from that.
Yeah, absolutely. And sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't tell anybody to get married. I mean, short of kids, and you can even do that unmarried. There's absolutely no good reason for a man to get married today. None.
I would have to agree based on the current state of things. But what about Joe Buddy? What does he think?
Yeah, I'm sure he's got a lot to say on the subject.
Well, I don't know what that tone of voice means, but I think if you're going to have children,
just a whiskey tone.
I think if you're going to have children, marriage is the proper way to do it. And while most of the country is more secular, there is a sizable amount of people who have religious convictions that marriage is a sacrament, and that marriage is the only way to have sex.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you may believe that and not do it. You know, you may have these ideas of, well, you know, I should be married to have sex, and you still don't do it. But because you believe in that, you will eventually get married.
Mm-hmm. There was this religious guy. Actually, I know him still. He's not a friend. He's kind of like a friend of a friend. And he's heavily religious, became a born-again Christian in his teens, destroyed all of his Wasp and his Iron Maiden tapes and all these other things. Remember back in the day as cassettes, right?
That's a fucking travesty. You don't destroy Maiden. Ever.
Yeah, he had a lot of metal stuff that he just fucking, like, literally broke after going to some kind of Bible camp. So anyways, long story made short, he marries this Chinese-Canadian chick, right? And she's super religious, right? And I don't know if she's a born again or part of a Chinese church. I have no idea. So anyways, they got married. They have one kid. The downside on him is he never grows up and still continues to play with and collect Bionicles. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
That's a toy, right?
Yeah, it's a toy, yeah. And Legos and all these other things. Whatever, people. I got Star Wars figures, so you guys can laugh at that too, but I don't actually play with them. I don't hold the figures and, you know.
So your wife doesn't walk in on you like Spaceballs and said, no, no, I didn't see you playing with your dolls again.
Yeah. So anyways, he's married to her and that, and he again waited till marriage before having sex, and I'm sure she did too. And then she got a job in an office. I don't know what she did for a living. And she ended up screwing around with one of her male coworkers. So then that marriage ended. And she, I think, ended up hooking up with this male coworker kind of thing. She basically practiced hypergamy. She upgraded because this particular guy really didn't have much of a career. So, you know, she upgraded. And then this guy was single and not getting laid for over 10 years kind of thing. Not out of choice, but just out of this kind of social awkwardness. So anyways, he finally meets a woman, I guess, at the church. And she has a kid from a previous relationship. He has a kid from a previous relationship. And then apparently they're going to get married or whatever. And you got to keep in mind, they're in their 40s now, okay? And she, I don't know, I don't think she's overly great looking. Not that she needs to be a supermodel or anything, but she kind of looks like if her skin, remember in the early Terminator models, if you guys like the Terminator movies, where the skin was more rubbery and it looked fake? Do you guys remember that? You guys watch the Terminator movies? Anyways, her skin seemed very rubbery, basically. It was like not real skin, but almost like if you put rubber. Oddly enough, right? But anyways, long story made short, he's going to marry her and he's still not had sex with her, right? And I've told them a few times, like, don't you want to test drive the vehicle before you buy it? And he kind of skirts away from the issue, but I don't know. I just find it like that's his belief structure that he wants to get married, and that's fine. But I just don't see a point. He's been married, gotten a divorce. He's in his 40s. He's not planning to have more kids. I guess I don't see the point if you're not going to have kids. And I don't see the point in waiting for marriage if you've already, as a man, you've already, you know, popped your cherry, so to speak. And obviously she has a kid. So, I mean, she's popped her cherry too. So at that point, I don't get even why. For myself anyways, I don't see the point in waiting. Or sorry, I don't see the point in waiting. Don't you want to test drive the vehicle?
Right.
Yeah, you don't drive off the lot without taking a test drive first.
Yeah.
But really, how important is sex?
Well,
romantic relationship, I mean, that's one of the reasons that you enter into that kind of scenario. So isn't that like a top priority?
Yeah, but you're a man. You're going to enjoy it. So who cares? Test drive what?
Well,
you're going to put it in, it's going to feel nice, and you fall asleep.
Thing is, here, one thing my last ex used to say to me, well, you know, pussy is pussy. No, it is. There's, you know, it's all functionally the same, but, you know, it's not the fucking same. That whole isn't, you know, doesn't make it good.
Yeah, like some women are super loose. They just have bigger pussies.
And some women don't know what the fuck they're doing. Carly,
true.
if you're still in the chat, do you know what you're doing?
It's
okay.
Yeah, go ahead, guys. Yeah.
And we need SPI. You know, this is his area of expertise.
Dude, we catch STDs, not feels, son. Stack a bitch on that shit, son.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know, man. I just
Do you guys think you should test drive the vehicle before you buy it?
Yes.
I do not think you need to.
But if you can test drive the vehicle for free, why buy? I mean, like, to me, it's like if you're getting the milk, why buy the cow? To me,
Yeah.
And I mean, I had that situation, and unfortunately, I made the stupid decision to make it official. In my case, at least.
Mhm.
And I mean, even her dad. I remember her dad was like, "You're getting the milk. You got to buy the cow eventually." and and I'm like, "Oh, I guess I better." You know, I kind of felt pressured, but
Good old shotgun wedding, right?
yeah, but no, he's a good guy. It's just the whole fucking point, I guess, is just like there's absolutely no reason for a man. I mean, I guess unless you're religious in some sort, but to me, religion's not. It's not, it's not logical to me, but
Mhm.
that's just my opinion.
I
Carly
look
says
at
she
it.
knows what she's doing, but most men are useless. Are we useless? I don't. I'm pretty good in the sack
I'm decent.
complaints. So Carly likes to make broad generalizations.
Hmm.
So I guess we can give that to
Yeah,
her.
I was gonna say it's typical, but
I don't know. Carly does married men, so what does she know?
Probably knows a lot to do with the
Married
hokey
man.
hanky panky and the hokey pokey.
I don't know. I just want to be single so bad. I mean, maybe I'm more like Joe. Sex to me isn't really that important. I want to go monk totally.
Yeah.
Your wife.
Well, she used to be very good
I
looking.
would wife, and I like bigger girls.
Yeah, the only thing I could say, she wasn't always that way, but
They rarely are.
I mean, even if I'm walking down, if I'm in the store or something, yeah, I mean, I see a good looking woman, I appreciate it, but it's like, well, I'm not, because I already know what I can get myself into. I don't want to take that risk anymore, so it's like I'm just totally so bitter about it that I'm just hands off the merchandise, so to speak.
Mhm.
But again, that's just me. But not all,
Right.
maybe, not all men could do that either, though, right?
It's our culture. It's telling the men that they have to have sex.
Yeah, but there's a biological drive. There's a major biological drive, especially when you're in your 20s and 30s. It tapers off a bit in your 40s. It does. And apparently in your 50s, it really tapers off. But honestly,
Well,
we're biological creatures driven to do this to continue the human species, right? That's really the meaning for, if sex wasn't enjoyable, humankind wouldn't exist. We would go
That's
extinct.
why our little head's a fucking divining rod.
well, that's what I mean.
More
It's like
people. It's a race for more people.
that's what I mean. I mean, that drive can be there. At least in my case, I'm 28. Trust me, it's there. But now that I've been through that, it's like, well, big head takes over and tells me no. It's not worth the juice isn't worth the risk.
Yeah.
That's a sign of maturation. I guess once the big head takes over, guy has some sway in things, but it's all about the logical over the biological.
Yeah, I mean, once you've done battle with the succubus, you don't want to ever enter into that arena again.
That's for So
But you got to have like a +2 broadsword or something. Then maybe you could defeat the succubus.
Double-handed bastard sword.
Yeah, you need a magical sword to strike a magical creature. So yeah, it would have to be a plus something weapon, or a magic spell or something like that.
Magic missile. Roll die 6 and see what you get.
Yeah, exactly.
So, are you in the bar getting drunk? Roll the dice to see if I'm getting drunk.
Yeah, roll a die 20 and see if I'm getting drunk yet.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Are there any women there? Because do them.
Yeah.
What is that video called? I know what you're talking about.
I do too, actually.
Yeah, 8-bit D&D.
Man, that is so old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played some D&D back in the day. I don't know, can't remember what do you call it, edition it was. I think it was like third or fourth, maybe. But
Oh yeah, what year was it?
oh
Roughly.
man, it was back probably 03, 04,
Oh,
because I
okay.
graduated high school 07.
Oh yeah, it's probably third edition, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I still have my books. I still have all these books and stuff.
Oh yeah.
My dice. I still have dice sets and everything else.
Well, do you have the
Yeah,
monster manual?
I sure do.
Well, then you got to look up succubus, and it'll tell you all its strengths and weaknesses right there. Because I think it's in
that's
the
your
monster
Bible.
manual one.
I've already been through that.
Yeah.
In real life.
Oh, I
Just
tried to
don't
play
let it-
D&D once, but I couldn't get past like the character creation. It like bored me to tears just to try to create my character. I think I did play. What was that? Another popular one, Vampire the Masquerade. I did play
love
a
that
few games
game.
of that.
Oh, I love that game.
I thought that was fun, and I tried to play GURPS with some guys for a while, but the guy who was DMing like made character creation almost fucking impossible, so I gave up on that.
Always played as a sorcerer. Never played as anything else. Not a wizard, a sorcerer, because they use wisdom instead of intelligence.
Oh, okay.
And you don't have to have scrolls as a sorcerer.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, because that sounds like third edition.
Yeah, as a sorcerer, you memorize the spells. You don't have to sit down and actually write out scrolls every day for your spells.
Man, I remember back in the 80s, mid 80s or whatever. We would play it was kind of in junior high when I was kind of heavily into that or whatever. And we'd play D&D all the time. We'd even play like over the summer, we'd play it every day for probably like, it sounds crazy, but like over the summer holidays for like 8 hours a day kind of thing. Like it was pretty fun actually, but it was good in a way because it really helped with the imagination. And also the other thing is like remembering things it really was good for. Just because, like, especially if you played like a wizard character, you'd have to know what all these spells do and all of this kind of stuff. But it was kind of funny because, some other friends of mine were kind of more into chasing chicks and all these other things. And my one friend actually ended up dropping out of school in grade 10 because he knocked up his girlfriend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I often wonder if Dungeons and Dragons kind of like saved me from like basically getting hooked up with some like wild chick or something like that, knocking her up,
Well, I was going to say we eventually, I remember playing Dungeons and Dragons young in Boy Scouts, and then we had our own little group of friends. And then it ended up, girls were there too. I mean, and then it ended up being, well, we ended up not even playing Dungeons and Dragons. It was bras and panties. I mean,
yeah,
it's like, I mean, it's like it ended up just being like, making out and everything else. So but then again, we, at least that was in high school. But
yeah, that's funny.
But yeah,
B
but I
and
mean.
P. Right? It said D&D, B&P.
And I enjoyed that game better than I enjoyed Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, obviously.
That was a good game. I mean,
yeah, that was a great game. Okay,
holy
roll the
moly.
20-sider. Yeah, okay, yeah, you're in.
But it's like, so we, even back then we couldn't even have our own space. Really, it got invaded by female types.
Yeah, interesting.
Well, that's the thing. You get more than 2 or 3 dudes in a room, then there's automatically a woman that comes in and why can't you include the women? We want to join your exclusive club.
We actually, not to continue on this subject, unless we can, but a friend of mine, he was a really good DM. He actually came up with his own Star Wars system. And we ended up playing Star Wars D&D forever. And I'm telling you, like, he wrote his own book. I really wish I could try to get a hold of him and see if he still has that stuff. But
kind of
out of our group, there was 10 of us. And I was the Jedi. We only had one Jedi out of all of us. And the way we decided who was going to be the Jedi is we ended up having like a a regular session, a fight. Basically, we all just went at each other on D&D, in the game, and I ended up winning, and that's how I got the Jedi status. It was really, really interesting. It
That's
was
neat.
the most fun I ever played D&D for sure.
I'll say that would have probably made me want to get more into playing D&D. Now having the whole Star Wars twist on it.
Yeah, I mean, he literally wrote up his own book. I mean, with everything, classes. He had different alien. Like I played as the Plo Koon Jedi, the one with the gas mask. He's like an orange alien guy. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know how deep in the Star Wars you are, but he's like one of the Jedi Masters. Anyways, I forget what race he is, but I mean, this kid came up with different races, all these different attributes. It was unbelievable how much time he put into this, and it made for a really cool game. So,
yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, those are. Just want to add something maybe
good
about
memories.
a different topic, but in like I don't know, I forget when it was, like early 2000s or whatever, like kind of some new friends and that we decided to it was kind of more just a social thing, and we'd play D&D like once a week, and him and his live-in girlfriend would be there, I would be there, and then basically his other friend and that girlfriend kind of thing, right? And then some other chick or whatever. But but there was I don't know how to put it. Like it was cool and stuff like that, but it wasn't really I don't know. I've got to figure out the best way I can lead into the story here. There was a couple other people that played, and then they also played live action, or what is it, LARPing or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they were playing that, and I wasn't into that, so I didn't get involved with it. But I guess the saying in that LARPing community is whatever the title was, they would say something along the lines, if you can't get laid here, you can't get laid anywhere. Because what they would do is they would fuck each other as their characters. So they'd pretend to be whatever character, because it's live action role playing. So, and they would chicks there would be pretty promiscuous in that, and they would cheat on their boyfriends, but technically they weren't cheating because it was their character doing it.
Right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty funny or whatever, but never got into that whole live action thing. It just seemed I just wouldn't be able to suspend belief, or
Yeah, that's retarded.
Yeah.
that just seems a little too gay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the rainbow pill.
You never know.
Yeah, Eli's backdoor alley, right?
Oh boy. Well, I must say, some of those nerdier girls, man, they are wild.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, good memories, good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the one, the American chick that I dated in Korea, and she was actually a really nice person that got along with her really well. But anyway, she was pretty smart, actually, believe it or not. And I'd sound like an asshole, but I mean, most women I meet are actually not as smart as I am, I guess. But she was as smart as I was, or if not smarter, kind of thing. But I find, like, when chicks are intellectual, like when they're actually highly intelligent, I think those are the freaky ones. Because they get very creative, right? They're very creative in things. Whereas, like, a dumb chick will just lay there. Right?
They're the ones that'll try to fuck you using trigonometry.
Maybe not to that point, but they're just kind of very adventurous.
Trigonometry? Oh, man. So, these nerdy girls, Charles, are they slutty?
Well, here's a weird thing. You on like casual observing them or just casual interaction with them, if you don't know them, they would just seem like kind of like the nerdy chick that doesn't get laid, basically, right? But
Freaks
this
in the
chick wasn't
sheets, though.
nerdy, but sorry?
Freaks in the sheets, though.
Yeah, but it's like, but then like you get to know them, they like you, and then basically all of a sudden this other person comes out, right? Which is who they really are, right? And because the nerdy thing is kind of more of their, whether it's social awkwardness or just like a mask they're purposely putting on to fit in, or they're just intelligent, right? But yeah, I do find that basically because they have a higher brain function, they're just more creative. It just because they're able to be so, right? But yeah, I would say so for sure. I found dumb women are just lazy in bed. They just lay there. Whereas the more intelligent they are, then the more creative they are and the more interactive they are, right? So, you know, but that's, I mean, my experience anyways, but.
I would agree.
Yeah, it seems like the dumb ones tend to skate by on their good looks. They have to put forth any effort. Winning the prize by getting to a roast beef sandwich, but when you know they're intelligent, maybe their looks just kind of blossom later on. A little bit of naivete almost about them, and then they fucking surprise you by giving you the wildest night you've ever had.
There you go. Like what I would say is, it was on the tip of my tongue here. Like what I would say, what my friend Jay would say, the Wooler. He's been on a couple of my shows, like, you know, live where I filmed, or not live, but where I filmed it and uploaded it later. And basically, he likes going for the fat, ugly chicks. And I've seen some of them. Like, I mean, he's married now, but back when he was single, and I've seen a lot of them, or not some of them. And like one was pretty, but the other ones were just really unattractive. They looked like a fat witch. Like they were gross. Like they weren't like nice face, but overweight. They were just they could be like 20, but they look 50. Put it that way.
They were like a whole bucket of yuck.
Yeah, they look like kind of like the people of Walmart. You know, like that, right? If you guys are familiar with that.
Yep.
But anyways, basically, and I'd ask him, I'd be like, you know, I said, I'd try and be nice about it, but I'd be like, you know, why are you dating them and stuff like this? And he basically said, you know, when they're he put it nicely, but when they're not supermodels or whatever, they have to try harder, and because of their weight and because of their, you know, plain Jane face or whatever, they have to try harder to get a man and be with a man. So these are the ones that'll be super freaky, right?
They could suck the chrome off a trailer hitch.
Yeah, like he would take these chicks and he'd be like, oh yeah, you know, we went to a movie and it was too cheap to spring for a hotel room, so he would take them on these like dirty dirt roads, you know, the gravel ones. That would you ever see, like, you know, where it's like in an industrial area, basically,
yeah,
where mechanic shops or whatever. He'd take them in those type of places because he knew the cops wouldn't be around there, and he would just basically, you know, he'd be doing them on the hood or whatever, and he'd be like, oh yeah, it was really romantic, you know, the moon was out shining and all this. And I'm just thinking of this fucking really seedy, dirty scene of like fucking the dirty old dirt road and like how shitty it would look in that. But these were the type of women, they would just, a better looking woman would have more of a respect for herself, I would say. And she would basically, you know, be like, well, no, I'm not doing that, right? But the ugly ones, they're good to go.
For sure.
Would one of his pickup lines be to say that it's not going to suck itself, honey?
Well, as I wasn't there, I'm not sure, but he would. I don't know how it would work. I don't think you would have to try too hard, put it that way. But the women were just very, they're kind of like trailer trash style. And no offense to anyone who lives in a trailer, but you know what I mean. Like they were I don't know, just kind of just these women that looked old before their time. They're in their 20s and 30s or whatever, but they looked in their 50s.
The ones that look like they've been rode hard and put away wet.
Absolutely.
Way before their prime.
Yeah, and just like fat in not in a feminine way, but in like, you know, like how like a truck driver, like someone who's really overweight. You know how men, when you get overweight, it goes in your gut. It's like that.
Yep.
Yeah, it looked like an
It
ice
doesn't-
cream
From
cone.
experience.
Yeah. And that's how they were built, right? They weren't built where it just went on the good parts. It would just kind of go in the midsection. So they were built like these kind of like male truckers.
Oh,
So I don't know. It was way below my standard. Like I wouldn't have touched them with a 10-foot pole. You know.
Oh, here's a theory. I'm guessing that because they had that giant gut, he's doing his thing from behind that provided a good counterweight, you know, for the backward motion.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, some of the things he told me about, like, he sounded like Caligula. If you're familiar with who Caligula is, any of you guys know who he is?
no.
Yeah, that's the Roman Empire or Roman Emperor who was.
Yeah, he was like this, like really perverted, like Roman emperor, crazy as well. And I mean, some of the things he'd tell me, it was like, and I'd be surprised they would be willing to do it. And I'm just saying, holy fuck. But he, you know, they're pretty much like ditch pigs, the ones he would kind of pick up for the most part.
That's such a great word. A great term, ditch pig.
Yeah. It's some women fit in with that, that's for sure. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's yeah, I don't know. It's I never thought it was worth it, basically, like to lower my standards to the point of fucking an orc, basically, or a half orc.
Well, I would like to say that, you know, Chris Cantu may have given that video that he might have, you know, might be interested in settling down, because when you go abroad, you quickly realize that you don't have to lower your standards. As a matter of fact, you can raise them.
Mm-hmm.
You only have to lower your standards in the West.
You got a good point. You guys ever hear that? I mentioned at one of my shows. It's called, I think it's Captain Charisma. Are you guys familiar with that comic?
Nope.
So what
I'm
it
not.
is, no. What it is basically is it's a comic written by an expat, and he was living in Japan. And this is a story behind the comic, whether it's true or not. And it's not like a Marvel comic or anything. It's just kind of like an underground comic. So what it is a guy, he's in the West, and he's just average Joe Blow. Women aren't interested in him. They think he's a nerd or whatever. So he goes to work in Japan as an English teacher, gets off the plane, and suddenly all these women are attracted to him. So what happens is when he's in Asia, he's Captain Charisma, right? And when he's in, you know, the West, in the USA, he's, you know, he's like just regular Joe Blow or nerdy guy, right?
Yeah.
And he has enemies such as the Western women, because the Western women can see what he really looks like, and they don't like the fact that he can pick up these hot Asian chicks and all of this kind of thing, right? And where I'm going with this is, honestly, as a Western guy, rather, whether you're white, black, but generally if you're not Asian and you go to Korea or something like that, or Japan, your charisma, we'll talk about D&D, your charisma goes up quite a bit. You become like almost like Brad Pitt, basically. And you can get women that you would never ever be able to get in your home country. Like the level of looks and all that, right? Because you are something different, right? And, you know, it helps being white or black or something different than Asian, right? And it really is that way, honestly. It really is. And that's why you'll see, you know, and a lot of like white guys with super hot Korean girlfriends or super hot Thai girlfriends or whatever. And these aren't hookers. These are just really hot, good looking women, because they can, you know, they can get much better than what they could get back home, because they are something exotic to these women, right? Even if they look like, you know, Whiskey Joe in the back alley, it doesn't matter.
Well, the white guys also have a reputation for being better men than the locals, right?
Well, it's more masculine, right? It's like a masculine energy, right? You can be, most men are not alpha males, basically, but you can go there and you become an alpha male because I don't know, it's very, maybe it's the height thing, maybe it's Caucasian features, maybe it's that Western idea put forth through movies and stuff, but I'm telling you, you go there and you're average. Like I would be average here, let's say, like average looking for my age. But there I would be Brad Pitt. It's weird, right? But it's a truth.
Well, maybe it's white privilege.
Nah, yeah, I don't know. I don't believe in white privilege, but yeah, I know what you mean, though.
But yeah, that's why I got a wife abroad, because I was screwing around on a dating site and I'm reading some of these profiles. I'm like, wow, these women are really nice, And then just about every woman would answer my, if I sent her a message, would answer me. They might not have been interested back, but they would at least answer, which was, well, it was so strange because you do that on you do that on a dating site here, they ignore you.
No, absolutely. Because in dating sites here, basically you have 100 guys to one woman kind of thing. So they're fucking inundated. Even if they look like Jabba the Hutt, they're inundated by
Jabba the Hutt.
No, it's true. They're inundated by these fucking horny guys or whatever that are fucking like bombarding them with messages. So they have to, they gotta be like, fucking, they can be super picky. So it's funny. You could have a chick who's a 5 out of 10 who thinks she's an 8 out of 10 because of all the messages she gets. So it goes to their head. But yeah, I think I've never used like online dating for like outside of like Canada, but it's probably different. Socially, it's different as well, because maybe socially for them, it is polite to respond to you, right? So it's a different mindset entirely, right? So I do understand why guys would basically just, like, if they still want to get married and have that traditional lifestyle, why they would basically, go elsewhere to get it, for sure.
So your wife's from the Philippines.
Yeah.
And you said that she was plugged into the community?
Plugged into the what?
To the Filipino community?
Well, I mean, she knows that's how it always works, right? If they're Filipino, or it could be any nationality, they do generally. Who are they friends with? Filipinos, right?
So does that mean you met a lot of Canadians who are married to these women?
I have, but I don't like. A lot of her friends are married to other Filipinos.
Okay.
But there's a few people that I've met who are married to Caucasians, right? But how it ends up working here, is basically because there's so many Filipinos, both men and women, that come here to work. And some come here to work on a temporary work visa. Some come here where they can actually become a permanent resident, and then they, then can become a Canadian citizen, right? Depending on their education level, right? But it's there's quite a few Filipinos here, so it's not that difficult to meet one, if you know what I mean. And the thing that I like about, I guess, my situation is the fact that I didn't have to travel over there and worry about, oh, well, is she just trying to be with me for a green card, or what you guys call it, or citizenship. She didn't need me for any of that. She got that all on her own, right?
How I'm just curious, because my wife's from another country too. How long has your wife been in Canada?
Excuse me.
Probably about like now or before.
No, like right now.
I think it's coming on 5 years. No, it has to be longer than that, because hold on. Yeah, shit. Let me see here. If I was to guess, maybe 8 to 10 years, actually.
And how long have you been dating her and then married?
Since I'd probably say about 5 years. I'm bad with dates, but roughly about 5 years.
So she was in the country about 3 to 5 years when you met her.
Yeah.
Now, has she gotten any more westernized, or has she stayed the same?
You know what? To be honest with you, because when she came here, she was already in her early 30s at the time. So she was already who she is, kind of thing. So she pretty much stayed the same. To be honest with you, she pretty much stayed the same. She didn't suddenly become Canadianized. But it's when that women come here as teenagers or in their early 20s, sometimes, yeah, they can become very Canadianized very quickly, right? If I can use an analogy or whatever, put it to you this way: Filipino women, and I'm probably going to get, fucking Filipinos hear this, they're going to think I'm a fucking asshole, but this is the way it works. Filipino women are, and it's different with other Asian women, but Filipino women are basically either the white type that you wife up, or they're sluts. There's no in between ground, basically, to be honest with you. And I don't mean just the ones here, I mean the ones there too, right? So honestly, it's like when you meet a Filipina chick, either she's a type that's like actually marriage material, or she's a total slut. And and I'm not passing judgment on their culture, but in from what I've seen in my experience and talking with other people, that is the case.
Are you saying that's different from our countries?
I would say basically in ratio, because here's the thing: we get a lot of women who become cat women. They're not necessarily bad women, but they become cat women because they set their standards too high, and all their belief structures based on these westernized fictional ideals of Disney and all these other things, right? But let's say in the ratio between sluts and wife material, let's say, right? In Western culture, there are women who are wife material. They get locked down quick. Okay, they get married early. The guy knows what he has. Maybe they're high school sweethearts. They get locked down really quick. And I'm giving my examples, obviously in Canada. Maybe the US is a little bit different. But, based on these westernized values, it's not congruent. It doesn't work with that traditional way, right? The way things are now, right? And every Canadian woman that I've dated has been a headache and a pain in the ass, and really has not gone anywhere. Like, honestly, it's a complete waste of time. A complete waste of time. I can't even look back and be like, oh, I have some good memories. It was all shit, basically, right? Whereas I find, like, with Filipino women, there's a higher ratio of good girls, basically. Women that are wife material compared to, like, let's say Canadian women. And it could be Canadian. And when I say Canadian women, I mean women who are Canadian, whether they were born here or whether they came here and got Canadianized. It doesn't matter about their color or their skin. They could be East Indian looking. And if they're Canadianized, they're not really going to be good marriage material, to be honest with you. So that's kind of, based on kind of my experiences and talking to other people and what I've noticed, kind of thing, right? You're more likely, even Chris Cantu, if he decides to go down the purple pill road, which he says doesn't exist, but if he decides to and maintain his MGTOW knowledge, he's going to probably be faced with, like, let's say he marries some chick in Cambodia or Thailand or whatever, who knows? He'll have a better chance at meeting a more traditional a woman who's wife material over there than he ever would in the United States, especially in the San Francisco area.
Especially when you're living out of your Jeep.
Especially when you're living out of your Jeep, absolutely. But let me ask you this, Joe Buddy. I know you're kind of sometimes you're a little bit cryptic. Like you mentioned that, your wife is from another country and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Now, I'm not going to ask her what country. I'm not going to ask you what country. But can I ask you, is she Asian?
Yes, she is. Okay.
And would you agree with my summation that basically, if you want to go the traditional pathway, let's say you want to be purple pill and be married, Do you think it's better to do it with someone from Asia or someone from Canada or United States or whatever?
I'll answer that question as an older man. I think that's probably the only way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're younger, you have options. You can find that needle in a haystack. But as an older man, I mean, what do you got? You got crumbs. Those are your choices. Unless you're Donald Trump and you got the money and the swagger and you can attract really high quality women. For average guys, you got crumbs. You got the bitter women with baggage.
Yeah.
You got the Carly Ellisons of the world.
Carly asks, so all of you are married? So it seems like she's kind of interested in the fact, the married aspect of it. What do you?
Nemo's available, Carly.
Well, she's not into unmarried men.
That's a problem.
So she wants to know if we're married. That way she knows who she can work on next.
I know she's already had Charles, so buddy, I think you're probably next in line.
She said she's a doctor, and if I showed up to her, she'd let me bleed out. I don't think she wants me.
Are you a surgeon, Carly? Why only ask because she's...
It's the internet, dude. She's everything you want. She's everything you want.
I think she is a surgeon. She's got me in stitches.
That might be so, but just curious. She seems to be knowledgeable about the medical field, at least in general.
There's some.
Doesn't mean she can't be a surgical tech or something like that, though. Either.
There's some illegitimate attraction going on here.
Oh no, I just find the medical field fascinating. I was in it for long enough. I kind of miss it at times.
Isn't that right, Carly? Yeah. Isn't that right, Carly?
That's right.
Do you have a specialty, Carly, or are you just a general surgeon?
I'm a board certified. She says I'm a board certified surgeon and did surgery today.
Penis enlargement, I think. She's got the same problem as a gynecologist.
Just asking questions,
see it,
folks.
smell it, touch it all day,
just
but can't eat it.
Questions.
Oh, TFC is simping. He's simping pretty hard for Carly. Don't let
I'm into dominant women. Carly could take advantage of me if she wanted.
I have a specialty, but I'm not going to say what to decrease chances of being doxxed.
Well, obviously that's not your real name.
Yes, because commenters on YouTube could have dire consequences if they're found out. What? You commented on someone's video? No way.
Oh,
that's when the thought police will come.
Let's call the police.
So, Joe Buddy, I got a really quick question for you. A serious question, mind you. Now, your previous spouse that you're divorced with now,
yes.
You had a child with her, correct?
I had 3 children with her.
Oh, you had 3 children. Okay. So let me ask you this. Why didn't you just, not passing judgment, what you had 3 children with that woman, you got divorced, you're out. Why didn't you just say, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to, I don't need to be with another chick. I don't need to be married. I'll just, raise, be a good father to my 3 kids. And that's about it, and then do, go MGTOW, let's say, right?
Well, my kids are grown now. I had my 3rd child when I was 22.
Okay.
So I was relatively young when they were going to college. So there's my age, it's a long time. What are you going to do? Be monk for the last half of your life? Mm-hmm. And then, yes, okay. and
you could simp to a woman on a live stream.
Yeah. And then I
would... Just because you're asking a lady questions, you're simping now. That's funny. Sorry, Joe, I keep interrupting you.
It's all right. And then I would see if, a few good marriages here and there and go, if I didn't treat my first wife so terrible and, likewise her to me, and we never got on this vicious cycle of, making things terrible, maybe
Mhm.
maybe marriage would be nice because this person and these people over here and this couple over here, wow, they have a nice marriage and it looks really attractive from the outside. That's
Mhm.
that's my perception of a lot of people's marriages that I can see. Now, obviously,
Mhm.
it's just a look from the outside. Maybe their marriage is average or not even good, but it looks really
Mhm.
good to me.
But yeah, okay, fair enough. And I'm assuming that your current wife is much younger than your first wife.
Not really. Me and my first wife, we went to school together, so we're the same age. And my current wife is 7 years younger than me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
And
Okay.
I did go that route. I mean, when when you're got this whole let's date in Asia or whatever, you could get a woman half your age if you want. But I
Mhm.
wanted a woman whose personality was already set.
Sorry, could you repeat that last part?
Oh, I wanted a woman whose personality was already set. No,
Yeah, and that's a very good point because yeah, obviously,
yeah,
yeah, I
I didn't
agree.
need to go through the hassle of getting divorced a second time because she had a midlife crisis and decided to go bang the next door neighbor.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, fair enough. Um, yeah, okay, no, that does make sense for sure, kind of thing.
And I'm just playing the odds, Charles, thinking a woman that I chose is much less likely to divorce me. And, I've already made up my mind that I'm not going to cheat on her. So, hopefully we'll spend the rest of our life together.
So if Carly showed up with a bottle of wine and a hot tub, you wouldn't be tempted?
If Carly showed up with a bottle of wine and a hot tub, I'm saying, I'm sorry. You're in the wrong state. TFC lives in Pennsylvania.
Oh,
There we go.
Yeah.
Eli.
So,
I bet
bearded
the
nymph.
Bay Area would treat her well.
Joe Buddy will cheat on her. I guarantee it. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I love my wife very much.
Well, she's talking about somebody else. She can't even spell your last name correctly there, buddy.
Hey, I wouldn't. I've warmed up the speculum for Carly. I wouldn't leave it ice cold. She knows what that means.
How are you going to go monk when you're talking like this?
No, we're not. We're not all around Pennsylvania, Carly.
I'm on the Martian colony right now. I'm transmitting from Mars. We've actually landed here. So I would technically be considered in the third sector of Mars.
The third sector of Mars.
Yeah. So if you're wondering where we are.
Yeah. Well, it's the internet, so Carly can be as far or as close away as you want her to be, TFC. She could have whatever color eyes you want.
Carly grew up in Pennsylvania. TFC, you got a homegrown lady.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Evans City. Are you from Carly? Are you from Evans City?
Outside of Philly.
Hey guys, either way, it's
Big
about
area.
3:30. I gotta head to bed anyhow. Early day tomorrow with the kiddos, so
All right.
Okay.
I'll just have sweet dreams of Carly. That's all.
Yep.
All right. Well, you dream
That's
of
a nice
Carly
area.
and your speculum.
Yeah. We could do some kinky stuff.
She grew up near Valley Forge. Oh, that's where George Washington had to whip his men into shape.
All right, guys, have a good evening.
Yeah,
Talk to
right
you
on
next
you
time.
too.
All right. Thanks for joining, TFC.
Yep.
Hey, TFC, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
yeah, I do plan on providing more content for you.
So, bearded one, I got a kind of a quick question for you. Are you going like next time? The next time Howard Dare has a live stream, if it's congruent with your free time, are you going to try and go on there?
You know, I actually might. I'll see if I can flatter him with my. I'll see if I can flatter him with my impersonation. The new
Because it's
content
good.
that I've provided.
Yeah, because your impression is excellent. Like it really, because I was listening to him earlier, it's like it sounds very, very close.
Yeah, I did the same. I kind of popped into his live stream, for a minute or two. And, I was kind of comparing my voice to his, and it did sound quite eerily similar. We could be brothers in a different life.
And what type of accent is that? Like his accent, where would that be from?
I don't know. Is there some sort of state? I don't know if I think he's stateside. Is there a state that just has a bunch of old guys that have this kind of weird speech impediment? It's almost like a lateral lisp, but it's very subtle. You can't really tell unless you're paying very close attention.
Yeah,
He says I'm from Pompousville, and there is an air of pompousness in this voice, but I have a lot of new content to provide, and I think the information is valuable to you, MGTOW, to you men, and I'd like to thank you all for stopping by.
Carly, how pompous can you be when you're always rattling your tin cup?
I don't know, I've never really listened to one of his live streams. Does he beg for the shackles?
Yeah, it's like he has a timer, and he's like, "Hey, let's check out the super chats. Oh, what's going on here? I need to, I need to eat. We need the Howard Dare Chinese fund or something."
He does well. I didn't watch the whole thing, but basically, I saw while I was on there, I saw 3 people. Like this is from today's. 3 people donated like $100 US each, and then another one was like $20 or something like that. And I thought, holy fuck. I mean, people must really like his stuff to be like, yeah, there you go. Carly saw it as well. Like $300 super chats. Like, holy fuck, right?
Well,
that's pretty.
Must be nice. Must be nice.
Yeah, this one guy gave him $500 twice that I saw.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh.
All right, so
that's not to mention all the AdSense revenue he's getting. He gets lots of traction, so I'm sure he's getting he's $100 check every week or so.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think the apocalypse hurt him, and that's why he's doing these super chat live chats.
But the thing is, I haven't watched Turd Flinging Monkey in a while, but he did a video in October or maybe that really the whole adpocalypse thing didn't even affect him that hard. It may have done it for a couple weeks. It wasn't a long-term thing. It was just kind of when they switched over the algorithm and the advertiser shit programming they use, and he actually showed his analytics for his revenue.
Okay.
And really the dips weren't that gigantic. So I think anybody else that's saying, "Oh, the adpocalypse has hit them super hard," I really think that they're kind of muddying the waters a little bit to make you want to donate to their Patreons and give them the shackles. So you could donate through PayPal. I have a link. It's there. It's quite visible.
Yeah.
Send me some money. Because I do like to provide new content for you, and I'd like to get paid for my efforts.
I know, like with my channel before I guess you can call this, I call it waves or whatever, but let's say we'll just call it the adpocalypse or whatever. It did greatly affect my videos. And I don't mean the demonetization. I mean the one step before that, where basically, the initial, or I call it the second wave, right?
Yeah.
And basically it greatly affected me because it was weird because first off, I was getting almost the same amount of views on my videos as before, but I was like making way less revenue via monetization, right? And then the other thing was I found, because like a lot of my content was MGTOW or MGTOW based, for whatever reason, I think it was harder for people to like, these videos were being hidden more by YouTube. And then I had people email me and ask me, oh, why did you unsubscribe me? And I said, I didn't. And what happened is basically I lost quite a few, not like tons, but I lost some viewers or some subscribers because YouTube somehow unsubscribed them. Like, so it was, it did actually affect me, right? Significantly, right? But I'm a much smaller channel, so maybe I would feel it more, right? I'm not sure.
Yeah, but that unsub glitch has been happening for a while, because I've seen even big people like the Amazing Atheist has had like subs drop off like gangbusters.
Right. And I
Almost
know,
like
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so if you have any kind of unpopular opinion, I mean, TJ is not a MGTOW kind of guy, nation, but you know, he's got one of those personalities that's very divisive. Picks up on that, and you know, they're doing the whole identity politics thing. So if you say anything they don't like, they'll, you know, use their algorithms against you.
Yeah. Well, like with the
yeah, go ahead, keep going.
Oh, sorry. Just like with the third wave of demonetization, or sorry, the third wave of demonetization that I call it, where basically where they came out with that yellow dollar sign, which is like it's kind of monetized, kind of isn't, I guess.
That's that not suitable for all advertisers kind of tag.
So your videos may be monetized or they may not be, and you don't know, kind of thing. But I found that affected it. But you know, this is, and then around the time what I was doing is I was uploading the same video that I'd uploaded already, and I would call it like I would change the tags in it. So I would remove MGTOW, I would remove Sandman, I would remove all of these like tags that I would use, you know, and instead I would put like rainbows, magic, fairies, and I'd even title the video like Magic Elves in the Forest or something, right? And it wouldn't be demonetized. And then recently, I did a test where basically I uploaded a new video and I took out the terms Sandman and MGTOW. And it monetized and it stayed monetized. Then what I did is I added MGTOW to the title and I put MGTOW in the search description. That's the only thing I changed was MGTOW. Guess what?
And it went yellow, didn't it?
It went yellow. So I know that is a naughty term that they are basically seeing as that MGTOW, they're seeing it as a negative term.
Yeah, that's why I don't even put MGTOW or Purple Pill or anything, and I have the most random retarded tags. Otherwise, it's just like inviting YouTube to make it impossible for you to monetize your content.
Right.
You know, and make any money the easy way, you know, with people actually viewing and content.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and that's how I choose to make my money off of YouTube, is just and that's almost impossible. So you almost kind of have to beg for shackles to kind of pay off for the hard work that you do.
It's a kind of it's a kind of situation that makes it very difficult for content creators, because I know YouTube has to kiss the ass of the advertisers. I mean, I get all the business aspects of it. I do understand that, but it makes it so hard on the YouTube content creators, because especially the ones that, like my videos, I don't edit them. I don't, especially now, I don't edit them. I don't put special effects in. It's raw, basically, right? But you know, all the people where they'll remix it and they'll do all the slick content and and it'll look really nice. It's like it takes a lot of work to do that. And yeah, I don't know. I think YouTube, I know why they're doing it, because they don't want to lose advertisers, but at the same time, if a better publisher, I'll call it a publisher or broadcaster, comes along, that is actually better, because all these other ones out there suck, and I've tried a lot of them. Like VidMe was a total complete waste of time. But anyways, long story made short, it's like this, YouTube could be kind of nearing, it could end up being a MySpace kind of situation.
Yeah. And here's my opinion of it. All these other things like your VidMe's and your BitChutes and all these platforms, they're not going to attract the traffic that YouTube does. And that's one monopoly that YouTube has on the whole video streaming or video hosting market. But my opinion on advertisers is, I really don't think that they make that big of a stink over what their products are advertised on than YouTube or anybody else makes it out to be.
True.
In my opinion, I think they're just happy to get their commercial seen by anybody. It doesn't matter what your views are. It's not like they're picking your brand to be associated with. They're just showing an advertisement. It's not like take anybody that watches television. If a commercial airs during, let's say, a popular show like The Walking Dead, that show is being broadcast in the homes of, grand wizards of the KKK.
Yeah.
Just like it's being, broadcast into Joe Blow homebodies television. Nobody cares who sees the ad. It's just that you see it and you associate it with the product and you buy the product. So I really don't think the advertisers care that much shown against. And I think that's just a ploy for YouTube social justice agenda, people down whose opinions vary from their own.
Right. And I would agree with you, because basically if you look at The Walking Dead, and I mean, it's a great show, but look at all the gore in there. It deals with a lot of like very harsh topics, right?
Yeah, and Procter and Gamble doesn't really want to align themselves with post-apocalyptic zombie genre, period show, but they're surely as shit going to advertise Johnson & Johnson baby wash when they think a single mom's going to be watching The Walking Dead on Sunday night. It's a market.
Absolutely, and that's exactly it, right? So it's I always find it funny, like when YouTube will, they want the content to be crystal clean, like basically like cartoons or like how to put on makeup or how to make arts and crafts kind of stuff that's boring. And it just absolutely doesn't make sense. And meanwhile, on The Walking Dead, there's all these commercials showing, and these companies, they don't care. They just know that a lot of people watch a show, and and they'll sell some product if they show the commercial. So no, I'm 100% agree with you on this kind of thing. It just sucks for content creators, because basically this is the way I look at it. Like, I would do the channel anyways, regardless, like even if I made $0 on it, and I don't really make that much on my channel, believe it or not. It's a small channel. But I mean, I would do it anyways, but it's nice to get that. To be honest with you, it's nice. Oh, I made a bit of money on the monetization. Like, it's kind of cool, right? Yeah. But what happens is basically if there's nothing, and I don't see there anything wrong. Like, if person's up front, I don't see there's nothing wrong with making money off your YouTube channel, right? But it's like it'll make a lot of people just kind of quit doing it, because they'll be like, why am I going to put all this effort into it? And wow, I made $10 this month. They're just
exactly. It's, Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, and it's just only fair that someone gets kind of like, as Howard, I don't know if it's Howard Dare, but people are kind of compensated for their time in a sense, right? And how do you do that with the monetization, right?
Yeah, the thing is, you should get some reward for all the work that you put into it. But I guess that's why, I don't put as much work into it as other people do, because I know I'm not going to, reap any financial reward from it, but I still want to do it because it's fun. And if it helps one person out, maybe it was worth me taking time out of my day to, fuck around on the internet. But I don't have any beef with people making money off of their YouTubes. But if you're going to be begging for it, at least, you know, be transparent about what you're doing with it, like we talked about earlier with Eli.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
the advertisers, I don't think, give a fuck about what, you know, who's seeing their advertisement, as long as they're making money. And I think YouTube's being a little backhanded with how they choose to allow certain people to monetize their content, and certain people have to get, you know, not suitable for all advertisers status on their videos.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, I'm sure, you know, like my channel is it's a smaller channel, and I'm sure the algorithm is watching my channel for sure. But it's like, I just think it's ridiculous that they would see a term as MGTOW, men going their own way, as something negative enough where they would be like, oh, we better make this not suitable for all viewers. Like,
Yeah.
it's insane.
And the funny thing is, they could use the whole MGTOW label and tag to tailor make their advertisers, you know, more money. They
Sure.
could choose to associate, you know, more male centric companies and put them on, you know, their ads on the MGTOW content creators. Because I know if there was something, you know, that was specifically aimed towards men, if, you know, if I actually got to see ads, I have YouTube Red, so I don't see any ads on when I watch videos.
Uh-huh.
But if I did see ads, you know, I'd like to see, you know, some fucking whiskey advertisements or some beer ads, or, you know,
Mhm.
I don't know, some new efficient power tool ads, you know, on these videos.
Right.
And I think YouTube is kind of shitting the bed on a niche market that they could really, you know, I'm sure there's a new beard oil company that could use some traction.
Yeah, there you go.
And the MGTOW videos would be a perfect platform for that. And
Yeah,
I
no,
think YouTube's maybe being a bit short-sighted.
yeah, I know, like I don't have ads blocked or whatever. But what I've noticed how it works is basically they don't tailor the ad for the content. So if you're making MGTOW content, they don't say, okay, hey, we're gonna have a bunch of men's stuff here that we're gonna put commercials on. The advertisements are based on the person watching it. So as an example, in their location. So as an example, there's a pub here called Original Joe's. So, you know, let's say I watch my own content or I watch someone else's content, that's the commercial I'm getting, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because of, I'm thinking that it's because of, you know, they know where I'm at based on my web address or whatever, it's IP address. And they're like, oh, he would probably do like this. So I noticed the ads are basically more geared towards the person watching it, not towards the person, whatever content it is, I guess, if that makes sense.
And you know, it's a whole Google monopoly, so they're using your search history and your browsing history, and they probably know your firstborn's name and social security number, so they can aggregate all that information and be like, oh, well, he probably would like to, you know, visit Canada Motors to buy a new car, so we'll put that ad in there. Or, you know, I bet he eats a lot of or I bet he goes and gets Tim Hortons a lot, you know, let's put a few of those ads in. And, you know, the whole Big Brother scenario is proving itself over and over again, even on YouTube advertisements.
Yeah, no kidding, absolutely. But the thing is, basically, and companies have done it, companies seem to have this idea that they are, when they get big enough, that they're immortal, right? But you'll notice with any company, it has a beginning, it has a middle, and it has an end. All companies eventually go out of business. All companies. Like, it could be your favorite whiskey of all time. At some point, they're going to go out of business or be bought up by someone else and go by a different name or whatever. Who knows, right? Or they'll make an inferior product with the same name, but it'll taste like diesel fuel. And YouTube's the same kind of thing, but it makes sense for them to at least prolong the life of their company, right? And I just think, based on, you know, who's running the show at YouTube, who's the head CEO, and the people that are in power, I do think it's a leftist what's a term for it? A leftist goal or viewpoint that they're pushing. Because even
Yeah.
I believe even if you put Trump, because I used to put Trump in my search in my tags, right? Because I figured, okay, this even though I'm not discussing Donald Trump, but it would come up more, right? And I even think putting Trump in there, not even Donald Trump, but just the last name Trump, would actually cause your video to come up as, like, you know, not suitable for all audiences. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. Like you could be making videos about bridge, and you could be talking about Trump cards, and you could put that in your tags, and all of a sudden you're like persona non grata to YouTube because you use that one tag that they don't like.
Well, exactly. A friend of mine, Brian, he basically says, like, there's a lot of he goes, and it's on YouTube too, a lot of like let's say, I don't know, like Asian porn, like Chinese porn or something like that, he said, right? And he said, but the title will be of something totally different, and the search tags will be something totally unrelated. So it's not the content, what it proves, and these things have commercials on them, and they're up. YouTube doesn't take them down, so it proves to me that basically, and all this information that's coming in, is that the YouTube search and destroy algorithm that's going around this shitty, poorly written AI program is only looking at specific words. It doesn't have an understanding of the English language. It can't go through a video and listen for the word fuck or shit or anything like that. It's basing it on your title, your video description, and your tags. That is it.
Yeah, it's just searching for those feel bad words.
Yeah.
In any of the in any of the input boxes that you can actually input information in.
That's right.
I think that. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I did a video on black and white photography, which is there's no gray in there. It's black, white. That's it, right? Yeah. And it demonetized it, and I had to appeal it, and I won the appeal, but it demonetized it. I'm wondering if it demonetized it with a yellow or if it was even a red. I'm not sure, because the word black was in it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what the fuck? I'm not talking about race or ethnicity. I'm talking about photography. So this is how stupid it is. It's demonetized videos where I've, with the yellow circle, where I've planted trees in my backyard. But because one of the search things there, because I have it kind of set up ahead of time, one of the search things is MGTOW or gold digger or cougar, because I even did a test with cougar. I'll put in cougar, and then I'll take it out and see what it does, or I'll upload a different video and actually not have cougar in the upload, like in the tag. And cougar is seen as a derogatory term because it flags it if cougar's in there.
Yeah, you could probably actually upload a video of you at a zoo and watching a cougar, and you could tag it cougar, and they would demonetize it just because of the tag.
Yeah, and it's this whole
stupidity of these.
Yeah, sorry, stupidity of the.
It's the stupidity of the programmers that are programming these bits of code that act as the AI.
Absolutely.
It's like, that term offends me. I'm going to make sure that every video that has that tag is flagged because it hurts my feelings, and it might hurt someone else's feelings too. Let's put that in there. What do you think, Starflower? Oh, I think you should definitely put that term in the flag term. It's these. It's the kids of the that the parents were the ones that had no rules and had like a loosely structured, and they don't want that for their children. They want to be more authoritarian, and they want to shield them from all the wrong think that's out there in the world. So they're inadvertently making the lives of their children hell because they have all these feelings that are too fragile to be bruised by life.
Yeah, you make a very good point, actually. Yeah, you make a very good point. I would just basically say it's a leftist agenda that they have. It's a feminist agenda, obviously. and if they think they're protecting their their kids or the next generation from wrong think or whatever, or bad thought or bad think, what they don't realize is basically they're not. Because if you don't talk about, let's say you don't talk about car theft, does that mean car theft just ceases to exist because people don't talk about it? No, of course not. It still exists, right? So not talking about it isn't going to change a damn thing, right? So it's it's really unfortunate that YouTube can't be run like a business, because it's not really being run as a business. It's being run as a non-profit organization, and like they make money, but do you know what I mean? Like the mental idea behind a non-profit, it's kind of playing guitars, singing Kumbaya in front of a bunch of magic elves in a magic forest with rainbows.
It's not a business, it's a feelings machine.
Right, and that's wrong.
If you go against the feelings machine, then you're just a terrible person, and you have to be, blocked, because your wrong think is disturbing the feelings machine.
Well, absolutely, and we both know. I'm sure you agree with me, but let me know if you don't. Decisions based on logic are generally when you make a decision based on logic, is generally the best decision you can make. When you make a decision just based on emotion, it's probably going to be the worst decision you can make, right? This is why we have functioning brains that we can, and YouTube is syncing with emotion.
Yeah. When I've thought with emotion in the past is what's ended me up, in the worst situations. That's what's ended me in, getting divorced. And that's what ended me in, having to leave my last relationship, because I was thinking with my heart, and I didn't weigh all the options in my head first.
Right.
If you play out all possible scenarios mentally, and then you can choose the path based on, what's more beneficial to both parties, or you as a single party. Don't let your brain work off your gut or your heart or, your feelings machine. You're going to be led astray. And, a lot of times that's the most detrimental path to tread.
Mm-hmm. And, and this is the thing. I mean, it's, and I've seen it with businesses where they don't use logic. Like Sears is a good example, Sears Canada. They didn't use logic for many, many years. And they just used the feeling of, what Sears was historically, right? Sears would never go out of business. They're, a big, Sears has lasted forever. They didn't use logic. They made poor decisions because I think they're using feel-good emotions, in my opinion. And in Canada, Sears Canada is bankrupt. They're going out of business, and the people that worked at Sears, who weren't management, who paid into that pension, are getting nothing. They're not getting a pension because it's gone.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Sears. The same thing happened here in my area. We had it was like 1 or 2 Sears stores left. That was the place to shop. They were the fucking catalog.
Mm-hmm.
There was the Sears catalog, and that was it.
Yeah.
You had Sears and you had JCPenney, and they were like the big department stores for the longest time. And now our Sears that is local just went out of business. It had one of the biggest spaces in the local mall, and it's gone. They went out of business.
Holy shit.
And the same thing with Kmart, which was the same in the same brand category.
Right.
There's no Kmarts in the Louisville, Kentucky area now. And that was a big ass chain.
Yeah, like we haven't had Kmarts here for like 20 years basically. They used to be all over, but they're long gone. They're gone. They were replaced by Zellers. But is Sears US? Do you think Sears USA? Do you think they're gonna go tits up?
Oh yeah, I think they're on their way there. The only positive that Sears had going for them was the Craftsman tool brand.
Right.
And I think they're even now an entity all on their own. Like, I don't even think they need Sears to function.
What happened was,
that,
oh, I'm sorry. Like what happened was with the Craftsman brand,
Go
which is
ahead.
pretty solid, is Sears had to raise money. So Sears started first selling off the real estate, and I think both in Canada and the United States. So they had some land holdings that they sold off, right, to raise money. Then in January of this year, 2017, they sold their Craftsman brand to Black & Decker to raise money.
Oh.
So if you notice, like at least in Canada, they stopped, like they never got in any new stock for Craftsman stuff. They just were selling off what they had. So Craftsman isn't Craftsman anymore because Black & Decker is now going to make it at their standards, which is not as good. So the tool
definitely, and I know they don't offer the same kind of warranty. I mean, Craftsman, you could fucking throw that thing, down a mine shaft. You could crush it. You could into the ground, and you could take it into the store, and they'll be like, "Okay, we'll replace it for free."
Yeah, that's right.
You don't even need a receipt. It's Craftsman, or a certain behind it. And now, Black & Decker, they make throwaway tools.
Yeah.
If your 18-volt cordless drill blows up, whatever. It only costs $30 because it was Black & Decker. You just buy another one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. It's the quality, I think, is going to go down. Yeah, you're not going to have that warranty. But yeah, I remember this is like probably 15 years ago. I brought in a screwdriver to Sears and I had bent it, and the thing was actually bent.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, "Oh, what'd you do with this?" I said, "Oh, I had to price something." "Oh, okay, here. Yeah, just go to the aisle and grab another one, and I'll give you the exchange." Like, no problem,
yeah, and
right?
They don't even ask for proof that you bought the thing.
No,
You could have found it on the side of the road and went in and said, "Oh, I did this to it." Okay, here, you take this, $50 ratchet.
Yep.
And then you could come back in and return it, and they'd probably do the same damn thing.
Well, I knew a guy who would go to garage. He doesn't do it anymore, but he would go to garage sales and buy like old Craftsman tools. Like they'd be all rusted and look like hell. So he'd get them for nothing at the garage sale, and then he would just bring them back to Sears and get brand new tools.
Yeah.
They didn't say anything. There's no issue. It was like, here you go.
As kind of fucked up as that whole story is, we're slowly going to where we don't have any more brands like that stand behind their products so much that they'll give you a replacement without even asking you a question. You don't even have to show proof that you bought the thing.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Like in Canada, the only thing that we have that is close to Craftsman is Mastercraft, which is they're sold, like they're a Canadian tire brand. And with their non-machined items, like what I mean is items that are not electronic or not actually with gears and stuff, but if it's just like tools, like hand tools, yeah, if it fucks up or whatever, they just give you another one. It's not an issue, and you don't need the receipt.
Yeah,
and even with some mechanical items, they'll give you an exchange.
Wow, I don't know. We're slowly seeing things like that die off, but here in the States, we have a couple that have kind of kept, taken that Craftsman guarantee, like Home Depot. I don't know if you all have Home Depot and Lowe's up in the Great White North, but they both have their own brands. Like Home Depot has Husky, and Lowe's has, I think it's Blue Hawk. They have the same kind of guarantee. You bring it in, even no matter what, no questions asked, they replace it. There's also a chain down here in the States called Harbor Freight Tools.
Okay.
They make the kind of, knuckle dusters that are, they make crescent wrenches, but they're the ones that if you breathe on it wrong, it's going to slip out and you're going to, bruise your hand, bruise your knuckles, tighten in a bolt.
Yeah.
But they have the same kind of situation where, you just bring it in, you could find it on the side of the road and they'll replace it free of charge.
Because I know Home Depot here, it's Home Depot Canada, I guess, but they just call it Home Depot. Basically, they're Husky tools. Yeah, if anything goes wrong with it, you just bring it back and they give you another one. They have a very liberal. I've returned so many things there, it's not even funny. Wears out or whatever, and they give me another one. Even non-Husky items, I've done it, and Home Depot is great for that. Where they'll just give you, like, if you don't have the receipt, they'll just give you a store credit or whatever. But I find with Lowe's here, we have it in Canada. They bought out all the Ronas, and they basically you can't exchange tools that way. There's no warranty on it aside from like a couple week warranty, and that's about it.
Oh.
So
is Joe Buddy asleep?
Holy shit, he is. Here, let's not say anything, and then let's hear him snore.
Okay, Joe Buddy's
I fell asleep.
Pulling a Nemo. He's falling asleep at his computer.
All right, I'm gonna go sleep for real.
Do you?
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Like, comment. But listen, yeah, I'm probably gonna go to sleepy by myself, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish this Old Crow bourbon and Diet Coke and go to sleep myself. So we'll end the stream here. We had a good time. We had minimal drama. And Joe Buddy, we got to listen to you snore for a couple minutes, so that was a plus.
Yeah.
Fucking Chris Cantu's fault.
Chris can't put you to sleep. Don't forget to invest in Red Pill coin.
Yeah,
It's deeply discounted at this point.
Joe Buddy's wife, maybe she'll, like, as a surprise, put all of their assets into Red Pill coin.
Oh,
Wow.
you'd like that, isn't that right, Joe Buddy?
Yeah, I'd like to throw my money away.
That's right.
Isn't that right, Dana?
That's right. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and end the stream here. We're not going to do the Eli Fields final thoughts scenario, but I'd like to thank you, Charles, for coming on. It was a good conversation. And Joe Buddy, as always, thank you for helping me co-host. And TFC, thank you for being here. And Carly, hey, boo. You know I love you, girl. Thanks for coming in. I hope you enjoyed some Merlot. And, you may want to get to Charles. So, he can get to sleep easy. Maybe you and his wife can have a threesome. And he won't cuddle. He won't cuddle either of you after he comes. Because, he's not a real man like me. Isn't that right, Dana? Isn't that right, baby?
That's right, you son of a bitch.
God damn it. Making me take the Lord's name in vain, guys. Anyway, Carly, thanks. We appreciate your trolling. And Charles, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I just want, I know you guys talked about it before. I just thought it was funny when, because I rewatched it today, where Mindframe said something, MGTOW Mindframe. I don't know if he said something insulting or he's just fucking around or whatever. And then she's like, "Fuck you, Mindframe." And then she gets up and she just walks out.
Oh, the big fucking mic drop where we all thought Eli's relationship was over. Like the Nawalt has left the building.
Yeah.
No more unicorn sex for Eli.
No, I guess. And it was probably a cold bed that night.
He said he was in bed. He was in bed waiting for her. He said, "Me and Dana made it out. Isn't that right, baby? Isn't that right, Carly? You want to join me and Dana in the bed, right? Big John will be in the middle of us. We'll giggle and talk about his dick. Mindframe will make fun of us. He might even come in and join. It'd be like a 5-way, baby."
That's pretty good. You're getting there, bearded one. You're getting to coach. You're very close to doing a really good impression of him.
I know, but my balls need to ascend a little more, and then I could get.
You gotta raise your voice a little higher. It needs to be more like high strung and more like,
Well, baby,
I can't even do it.
Yeah, baby. Isn't that right? You know, the Bay Area, that's the best area in the world to live. Isn't that right, baby? We make 6 figures, and we're barely scraping by. Isn't that right, Dana?
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Well, all right. Howard Dare here. I'm gonna just come in, and we'll end the stream. All right. We had some laughs. We talked. Coach Eli showed up for about 10 minutes. I'm sure he's now watching a rom-com with Dana. You know, maybe he's giving her a hand job under the table. We don't know. But this is the most important thing. You know, if you're going to go away from my stream with anything, it's this. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, as I do plan on producing more content for you. And thanks for stopping by. Good night, MGTOW. Good night, men.
Good night.